assists, 9 rebounds, 15 from Westbrook, 3 assists, 8 boards. Gordon with 25 and 8. And the Clippers fought in this one, 32 from James Harden. He was excellent. 22 from Kawhi on 9 of 15. 21 from Ivica Zubac to go with 13 rebounds. 9 off the bench from Batum, 4 from Derrick Jones Jr., and 2 blocks. Well, Denver takes game 1. It was thought to be one of the better series in the NBA in round 1. Couldn't ask for a better game 1. And the Clippers, though, changed the result in game 2. 6 o'clock pregame, 7 o'clock tip. Well, for Carlo Jimenez, our engineer, Cole Smith, our statistician, Dan Collins, we will see you Monday. Adam Oslin has you the rest of the way. We'll be back for one more segment. The final score, one more time here in Denver. Clippers fall in overtime in game 1, 112 to 110. And the Clippers Audio Network.
What I tell you, pregame, key to victory, take care of the basketball. Clippers had 20 turnovers, 9 in the second quarter. Ball game. Can't happen. Can't happen. Clippers led by 15 in the second quarter. You can't have 20 turnovers in a playoff game on the road and expect to win. That's the first thing I think we're going to hear from Coach Lou postgame. And Russell Westbrook hit a three-pointer to help get it into overtime. Unbelievable. Clippers got out-scrapped with offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. Couldn't close out possessions. Just brutal. Norman Powell did not have a good game. Bogey had a brutal game. Unbelievable. Can't happen. You blow a 15-point lead on the road. Unbelievable. They were good enough against Jokic. They were good enough against Murray.
Good stuff, sir.
Aaron Gordon with 25 points. Russ with 15 off the bench, even though he was 5 of 17. It's really Aaron Gordon. The scrap he showed in the fourth quarter and overtime, I think, was the difference in this ball game. Bogey was brutal. Clippers bench in general outside of Batum. Norman Powell has to be much better with the starters. Clippers should have won this game. Clippers should have won this game. Ugh. Now my headphones are breaking.
Ford employs the most American auto workers in the U.S. They also assemble the most vehicles in the U.S. Ford's commitment to America is not a coincidence, but a proud choice. And Ford is showing everyone that commitment is more important than ever right now.
Ford is offering employee pricing on all Ford.
You pay what Ford employees pay.
Now
Zoo did his job. Harden did his job. I felt like Kawhi wasn't aggressive enough. He looked gassed at times. I got to be honest. Kawhi looked tired at times. Wasn't as aggressive.
But the post-game coverage is just getting started.
The successes, the failures, let's discuss.
This is Clippers Locker Room, breaking down today's playoff game with the pre- and post-game voice of the Clippers. Here's Adam Oslin.
Another overtime game for the Clippers, but this time it ends in a loss. They lose 112 to 110 in OT in Game 1 in Denver and are down 1-0 in this best-of-7 first-round series. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, we'll get to second-half highlights, your post-game box score, and we'll take calls on the Patriot AM 1150 on Clippers Talk. If you want to get on early, 877-520-1150. But first, let's get back out to Ball Arena and back out to Carlo. Take care of the basketball. In that second quarter, where they had a 15-point lead. I'm not necessarily saying that's where the game was lost, but I think some people can expect this Clippers team was in control, and they continue to
If you're the Clippers, Adam, you have to win 7, right? Or you have to win 4. It's best of 7. In a game you lost in overtime, you gave away 26 points off turnovers. It's unbelievable or 29, excuse me, off your 20 turnovers. The Clippers really, you have 5 less turnovers, you win the game. It was interesting. The Clippers were unable to come away with the win in that one. But I think there's a lot of positives to take away considering how close it was and how many things the Clippers could have done better.
They had plenty of opportunities. They were burned late in the fourth quarter by Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook. They were being out-hustled out there. The amount of offensive rebounds the Denver Nuggets were able to get, those second chance points, came quickly in the fourth quarter when the Clippers had done such a good job winning the rebounding battle earlier in the ball game. But Denver seemed to want it more. They were getting the 50-50 boards. They were getting those 50-50 balls out there as well. And Russell Westbrook ended up hitting a huge three-pointer to help send this game into overtime, where eventually the Clippers would just come up short.
9 offensive rebounds between Gordon and Russ. Adam, just too many for the Clippers down the stretch. They struggled in this one to be able to box out those 2 guys. And it was something, like you mentioned, they've done really, really well all game long. And then late in the contest, unable to box out and stop Denver. They got out-hustled. Maybe the altitude got to them. A tired group who has played, playoff basketball time and time again. The Clippers just unable to close possessions, leading to Denver extra opportunities down the stretch. A lot of stuff to work on for this Clipper team. At the end of the day, though, Adam, I think we talked about it with Brian Shaw earlier, and this still echoes after this afternoon's contest. It really is about the Clippers. I mean, it's about the Clippers doing what they do best. It is not about Denver doing something extraordinarily well that forces the Clippers to play not their game. I mean, the Clippers have to get back. They have to not turn it over. They have to find their superstars in big moments. But I don't think I come away from this game worried necessarily about, wow, Denver really outplayed the Clippers in this area outside of hustle, which is something the Clippers have done really well all season long.
Yeah, the Clippers bench in this one also really struggled. They only had 13 points total, 9 of those coming from Nico Batum. He hit some really timely threes, but their bench was outscored by Russell Westbrook alone. He had 15 points. The Clippers bench totaling 13. I think Bogdan Bogdanovic has to be much better. Even somebody like Derek Jones has to have more than 4 points for this Clippers team. But, you mentioned the altitude and guys adjusting. Kawhi Leonard wasn't as aggressive, only taking 15 shots in this game. 12 of his 22 points came in that second quarter. But you mentioned a little bit earlier, Carlo, Kawhi wasn't quite as aggressive, looking for a shot as much down the stretch. You got to credit the Denver Nuggets at times there, but we know who Kawhi Leonard is. He's somebody who can get a shot over anyone, but just wasn't looking for it seemingly as much.
Yeah, 1 shot in 6.5 minutes in this third quarter, Adam, after you mentioned 12 in the second. And credit Aaron Gordon. I mean, he played great defense today. He was aggressive. He was physical. And this is a group for Denver that you talked about, hey, maybe their defense does show up in the playoffs. And Adam, they did. I mean, this is a group that's bottom 3 since the All-Star break in forced turnovers. And they forced 20 in this game against the Clippers. Game 1 always ignites overreactions. The Clippers, well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to look at, a lot to talk about in practice, and just a multitude of things to work on. But you point them out there. Kawhi could have been more aggressive. He came into this game, Adam, 15 straight games with 25 points, and he had 22 in this contest.
Yeah, was a bit of an off game outside that second quarter for Kawhi Leonard. Expect him to bounce back in game 2, where the Clippers will still be in Denver, tipping off on Monday night at 7. We'll have your pregame show back here at 6 for game 2. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. Hoping for a better outcome in game 2 Monday night.
Yeah, Adam, can't get greedy, but this is one the Clippers probably feel like they could have had. You go home 1-1 on the road in Denver, you'll take it. So see if the Clippers can get what it's going to feel like a must-win game on Monday. I can't wait, Adam. I can't wait. This one was a fun one, not the finish we wanted, but we get another, and I'll say let's go to that.
Let's go. Second half highlights coming up next after the Clippers fall in overtime, 112-110 to the Denver Nuggets in Denver in game 1 of this best-of-7 first-round series. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
All right, thank you, Carlo. Thank you, good sir. It was great to talk to you. Likewise. All right, stay safe.
I don't get lack of aggressiveness from Kawhi in the second half. And I just saw this stat from Kevin O'Connor. I knew it was bad. Denver had 7 offensive rebounds in the final 9 minutes of the game. That led to 5 second chance points. 7 offensive rebounds in the final 9 minutes. Surprising to see the Clippers get out hustled like that. It just looked like Denver wanted it more. Aaron Gordon certainly did. Russell Westbrook was being scrappy out there. And Kawhi Leonard did not have a very good second half of this one. I needed much more. He looked a little bit gassed. I was wondering if that's the reason he came out earlier than usual in the third quarter. He entered the fourth, Kawhi, having just played 25 minutes. That's unusual. And yes, Norman Powell has to be much better with the starters. If Norm isn't scoring more than this, it's tough because Bogey has to play better too. The solution for if Norm's not playing well is Bogey. Bogey's not playing well. If they're both not, maybe Amir gets some run. Maybe just play DJ more. Lean into defense. The turnovers are so brutal, though. I've been talking about it all season long. Turnovers the wrong time.
The LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. This is round 1.
Clippers lose in overtime, 112-110 in game 1 in Denver to the Nuggets. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, I'll have Clipper stock for you on the Patriot AM 1150. But first, let's get to second half highlights in this one. The Clippers led by as many as 15 in the first half. It was down to just 4 at the midway point as the Clippers got outscored 11-2 in the final 5 minutes of that second quarter, where the Clippers had 9 of their 20 turnovers in the second period. Just brutal. They led by as many as 15. They should have been up by more than 4 at the half. It was 53-49 Clippers. After a bit of a back and forth third quarter, the Denver Nuggets chipped away ever so slightly. They went +1, and the Clippers led by 3 heading into the fourth at 75-72. And then James Harden, who had a great ball game, did his best in that fourth quarter to try to give the Clippers a victory. Think we have some James Harden highlights? No. Some crucial buckets in the fourth quarter as James Harden had 12 of his 32 points in the fourth. But the Clippers would lose in overtime as Christian Brown hit a huge three-pointer to put Denver up by 4 after James Harden had just hit another big three-pointer. But the Clippers' turnovers came in bunches. They had a turnover on an inbound pass. We've been talking about turnovers on inbound passes going back to the very beginning of the season. Jokic would be fouled. He would hit both. Norman Powell hit an inconsequential three-pointer at the very end of the game. Clippers lose by 2. Final score 112-110. Denver wins in OT in Game 1. We'll dig into more of your post-game box score next. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Ford's commitment to America is not a coincidence. But
Guys, that
and Ford is showing everyone that commitment is
Kawhi's 7 turnovers might be a career high in a playoff game.
You pay what Ford employees pay.
Now is the time to get into that Ford you've been on.
I'm pretty sure it is. Kawhi with 7 turnovers.
Ford. From America.
That's unbelievable. 7 of their 20 turnovers from Kawhi. You just never see that. I'm sure he'll take responsibility for them, but there were some bad ones. I mean, he threw one into the arms of Christian Brown in the first half. Easy transition money bucket.
So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you.
I mean, that was bad.
Insurance company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
The home of the Clippers.
Shockingly bad.
Listen, Clipper fan, there's 24 hours in a day. Only so many of them.
Could they have gone to Zoo a little bit more? Maybe.
Challenge accepted. What am I supposed to do the rest of the day?
Fill the rest of the day with LA's best.
But I think the turnovers lost this game, clearly.
Step 1, download the
7 coming from Kawhi is something you just never see.
AM 570 LA Sports a favorite.
He did have 5 though last game against Golden State.
Then, every time you open the app, LA's best sports talk immediately to your ears.
You got a 15-point lead in the second quarter.
Looking for style and
You better be leading by 10 heading into the half.
then you'll want to make your way over to the spring sales event at your Toyota dealer. There are great deals on all.
I know a lot of people going after Coach Lou, like it was his fault that they kept turning the basketball over. It's Coach Lou's fault that Kawhi had 7 turnovers. It's Coach Lou's fault that they kept getting offensive rebounds on the Clippers. It's Coach Lou's fault that Russell Westbrook hit that 3.
I love this team. I never miss a game.
You're listening to LA Clippers playoff basketball.
This one stings. Clippers were in control in the first half, had a 15-point lead in the second quarter, and would lose 112-110 in overtime in Game 1 to the Denver Nuggets. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll have Clippers talk for you on the Patriot AM 1150. If you want to get on early, 877-520-1150. 877-520-1150 is the phone number. Clippers shoot 50% from the field, 12 of 33 from the outside. Denver shot just 44% from the field. They were just 9 of 27 from 3. You have to win that game. The Clippers shot 7% better from the field than Denver. They shot 3% better from 3. The problem was they had 20 turnovers to Denver just having 11. Those 20 turnovers turned into 29 points for the Denver Nuggets. I mean, I know some of you people are already blaming Coach Lou like it's his fault for all the turnovers. Do you know what his number one talking point was coming into this series in front of everything else? He said it over and over again. We have to take care of the basketball. They knew it. They didn't do it. That's how they lost this ball game. Self-inflicted wounds. Clippers ended up being led by James Harden. He had 32, 11 of 22 shooting, had a 15-point opening first quarter where he hit a three-pointer to end the first, had 11 assists. He was great. Chris Dunn did his part overall when you look at the box scores, but those 10 points, they were looking for an open 3 from him down the stretch of this ball game, and he couldn't hit it. Ended up 2 of 5 from the outside. Ivica Zubac definitely did his part. 40 minutes, 21 and 13, 10 of 15 from the field. 2 assists, could have been more. Kawhi Leonard just 9 of 15. 22 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 1 of 3 from the outside, 7 turnovers. I'm guessing that's a career high. Maybe postseason or regular season. Clippers bench in this one, they didn't get enough. Nico Batum, he showed up. 3 of 6 from the outside. All 3 makes from 3, 9 points. Derek Jones Jr., 1 of 4 with 4. Nobody else scored. Bogey was 0 of 3. Ben Simmons was 0 of 1. Not enough. Can't get just 13 points off the bench. Russell Westbrook gave them 15 by himself. Clippers were in control, and they gave this game away to Denver. Credit the Denver Nuggets. They came through late. Russell Westbrook, scrappy on the offensive glass. Same with Aaron Gordon. Both of them are huge in the fourth quarter. That Russ three-pointer, he was just 5 of 17, but that was one of the biggest shots of the game. And the Clippers lose in overtime, 112 to 110, to the Denver Nuggets, who got 25 points from Aaron Gordon. Remember that three-point shooting we were talking about with him heading into the series? Oh, he shot 44% from 3 this year. He was just 1 of 3. It was all the work he did. I want to say 12 of his 25 points coming in the fourth quarter just on hustle plays. Nikola Jokic, below his averages. 29, 9, and 12. Below his season averages. Jamal Murray, just 7 of 20. 21 points. You got the game you wanted from Jamal and Nikola Jokic, and you lost that game anyways. That's tough. Clippers fall in game 1, 112 to 110 in Denver. Outside of Los Angeles, we're leaving you until game 2 Monday night. Tip-off is at 7, pregame show at 6. In LA, don't go anywhere. We got Clippers talk next.
Another Clipper playoff broadcast is in.
James Harden, touching.
This has been.
I don't know, guys.
Locker Room, a post-game look at
That's a
today's
game you should win.
Every game all postseason.
Thank you for joining us for all the action on the LA Clippers
That's a game you should
Audio
win.
Network. This is LA Clippers basketball.
They held down Jokic and Murray. They got beat by Russ and Aaron Gordon.
An iHeart radio station.
They didn't get beat because of anything with Coach Lou. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
They also assemble the most vehicles in the U.S. Ford's commitment to America is not a coincidence, but a proud
You're reaching.
choice. And Ford
You're
is
showing your
everyone
agenda.
That commitment is more important than ever right now.
Norm wasn't very
Ford is offering
good.
employee
Bogey was really
pricing on
bad.
Ford. You pay what Ford employees pay.
Now is the
You can't
time
have
to
20
get to that
turnovers.
Ford you've been
7
wanting.
from
Take advantage
Kawhi.
of employee pricing while you can. Ford, from America.
Kawhi
for America.
looked noticeably tired. I hope that's all it was, him adjusting.
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough?
Aaron Gordon out scrapped them for boards over and over again. That's what he does.
Hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I don't think-
$75 towards your
I'm not sure this
job.
lineup
Conditions apply.
was ever seen, because Kawhi or Harden were out there at all times for the Clippers. So we're going to bring up lineups that didn't even happen. I'm not even sure that happened. I'm pretty sure Kawhi or Harden were on the court at all times.
Starts with a lineup of star players, like a 2025 Kia Telluride X line, with capability that takes us to another level. The best seats in the house. All set.
I wouldn't mind Batum in there at the end. I don't disagree with that. I wouldn't mind Batum starting the next game. If Norm struggles, I'm telling you.
And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. The stylish 3-row 2025 Kia Telluride X-Line all-wheel drive. Kia, official vehicle.
Harden was on the floor at the end of the second. What are you talking about?
333 Kia for detail. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Phone it in.
We're taking your calls on the LA Clippers right now.
This is
Well, I guess that 15-point lead in the first half turned out to be fool's gold as the Clippers lost to the Nuggets in game one, 112 to 110 in overtime. Brutal one, Clipper Nation. We'll be here to talk about it for some time here on the Patriot AM 1150 and at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side. Appreciate you guys in here after a pretty devastating game one loss. To lose a game like that, that's difficult. That's hard to explain away. But maybe it's easy. Maybe it's what I told you when it came to keys to victory in the pregame show. Right before tip-off, I said, and I'm just echoing what Coach Lou has been talking about and looking at trends and patterns with statistics. I said the key of the game is they have to take care of the basketball. Clippers had 20 turnovers, leading to 29 points. The turnovers single-handedly got Denver back into this one. Credit the Nuggets. They got scrappy late. They fought. They battled. There were times they were just going shot for shot. But you're up by 15 in that second quarter. The Clippers had a firm grasp of the basketball game, and they end up being up just 4 by the half. They went 5 minutes and 10 seconds, scoring just 2 points to end that second quarter. That is wild. For that to happen in a playoff game against the 21st ranked defense, I'm here to tell you, I've been saying it. I don't buy that they're that bad defensively, the Denver Nuggets. I never have. I think it was low effort and guys being disinterested and all the turmoil in the locker room and Mike Malone being fired. Well, now it is lit a fire underneath this team. Now they have something to play for. So they're going to play harder on that end. I'm not saying they were elite defensively in this game by any means. But their ball pressure, their defense on the perimeter disrupting the Clippers, giving their men zero airspace, led to 20 turnovers. I mean, how does Jamal Murray create that turnover on Kawhi late in the fourth quarter? He has the matchup he wants, and Kawhi loses it out of bounds. That stuff cannot happen. Jamal Murray is the guy you want to pick on. In a game where Jamal Murray took 20 shots to get to 21 points, and Jokic took 24 shots to get to 29 points, the Clippers lost? How does that happen? Well, 20 turnovers, 7 offensive rebounds in the last 9 minutes by the Denver Nuggets, many of which were Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook. And you gave away a very winnable game that could have given you home court. You could have put the pressure on Denver immediately. A team that was reeling heading into this series. A lot of unknowns, the future, what's going to happen. Well, now they can rally around this and feel invincible in a playoff series. Untimely turnovers. The volume of turnovers. And being out-rebounded when it mattered most. Being out-scrapped and out-hustled when it mattered most in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable. Clippers had some really poor performances, specifically off the bench, where they only had 13 points. Nico was good. He had 9, 3 of 6 from the outside. I'm not going to say DJ was bad. He did miss a floater. Can't remember if it was late in the fourth or early overtime. He had a good look at it, as Russ had missed an easy one too. But he had just 4 points. Chris Dunn couldn't get any of those corner threes to fall late. I thought he was solid overall. His defense was really good. He still had 10 points. There were still times where he was cutting to the basket. Ivica Zubac would find him out of the high post, and he was hesitant to go up a couple times when he could have gone up strong when Jokic was lurking, and he had 3 fouls early. He finished with just 4. I would like to see Chris Dunn be more aggressive, and Kawhi Leonard has to be much more aggressive. I'm shocked I'm coming out of this game talking about Kawhi having a bad game, honestly. 7 turnovers from Kawhi. 7 of their 20 turnovers. He looked tired at the end. I know it's 41 minutes. He's been playing big minutes, but the playoffs are just starting. Can't be tired now. Is it the altitude? He only took 15 shots. James Harden kept him in it. Hit a ton of big shots. His defense at times left something to be desired, although he got the stop on Russell Westbrook to get into OT. But Aaron Gordon, that was his man a lot, and AG finished with 25. Aaron Gordon had more points than Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, you're probably going to lose that game. Right? Russell Westbrook had more points than the entire Clippers bench. Yeah, you're probably going to lose that game. And they still could have won it if they had 15 turnovers instead of 20. But this is just a really disappointing game one because it felt like you could have stolen home court. You're up 15. Zach, do we need to take a 10-second ID? No. Zach's the man. He already got it in. 12 turnovers from Kawhi in the last 2 games. I know, uncharacteristically. Some of that is a fatigue thing, but it's game 1 of the playoffs. Renee said a Zuno masterpiece got ruined. I guess so. Others saying we lost by 2, we're good. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Another way is this was the game that was there for the taking in Denver. This was the game you needed to steal a victory against Denver in. This was the game where Jokic and Jamal Murray combined to go 19 for 44, and you lost that game. Ivica Zubac more than held his own against Jokic. He was 10 of 15 with 21 and 13. He's the reason Jokic didn't get that triple-double. But I'm looking at it as a missed opportunity. A big one. A significant one. We'll see how significant it is. Clippers bounce back and win game 2, all good. They got the split. The goal is to get the split. The question is, was this their best chance of getting the split? Then they just blew it. I don't like some of the doubling on Jokic late in this game when Ivica Zubac has good position on him. That frustrated me. I got to say, I understand Russell Westbrook. You play the odds with him, and you look at his stat line, he's 5 of 17, 2 of 6 from 3. But they left him open. He hit a big 3 to put him up by 2. Harden came back and got the quick 2 to get him into overtime. But that shot from Russ, now he's got more confidence. He's trying to burn his former team. From a confidence aspect, I wonder where the Clippers are at. This is a demoralizing type loss. I think they'll be okay, but not the way you want to lose game 1. I'm not saying you'd rather get blown out, but man, it was right there. You lost this game more than Denver won it in some ways. Now, Denver did what they needed to, and they made the big plays. And I told you coming into this series, one of my biggest worries was, can you win a tight game and go band for band, shot for shot against Jamal Murray and Jokic with how clutch they are? They could have, but some of the other guys stepped up, Russ and Aaron Gordon. Clippers lose 112 to 110 in OT in Denver in game one. More Clipper stock coming up next year on the Patriot AM 1150.
You know? They also assemble the most.
Yeah, this is one of those things I'm talking about. Jokic missed 2 free throws. They missed some easy ones. You have to take advantage of that. You have to take advantage of that.
You pay what Ford employees pay.
Now is the time to get into that Ford you've been eyeing.
Take advantage of employee pricing while you can. Ford. From America, for America.
People are blaming the refs. I'm not blaming the refs.
Eric Dickinson here.
Mark said it's fixed, I'm convinced. How is it fixed? Was it fixed when the Clippers were up 15?
Nobody brings you fun and excitement like Spotlight 20.
I didn't like they didn't review the last turnover by the Clippers. They were already, down 4 after the Christian Brown shot? But come on, this was not about the refs.
Great show, bright lights.
Why are you guys going there?
Spotlight 29.
Coachella's best bet.
There's never been a better time to find the Toyota that's just right for
Stop
you. At Toyota,
turning the basketball over. That is the opposite of championship ball.
Compare features side by side. Search our available inventory.
Mark Jag is so weak here. The league wants Jokic in the second round. It's like, man, you don't think they want a team? Come on.
Toyota car, truck, or SUV. Just visit Toyota.com. We make it easy.
You got to use your challenge that late in the game. I don't think that costed them.
Listen, Clipper fan, there's 24 hours in a day. Only so many of them can be filled with Clippers basketball.
Challenge accepted.
What am I supposed to do the rest of the day?
All right, Mark's getting a timeout because he keeps complaining about the refs, and it's weak.
Lineup at your fingertips. Step 1, download the iHeartRadio app. Step 2, make AM 570.
I want to talk about things you can control.
Make it happen.
Then,
The Clippers lost this game. They didn't have it stolen by the refs. The Kawhi rebounds where it looked like maybe he got fouled. I'd have to see it again. Yeah, I'm worried about this. Clippers lost their swag in this game. Nuggets gained their swag. Refound swag. Relocated their swag. Nuggets are going to have all the confidence in the world.
Now is the time to get into that Ford you've been eyeing.
Take advantage of employee pricing while you can.
Grace said Clippers will win game 2 or 3. You heard it here first. Will you show up here if they don't?
Or not to chill. When your friends get your favorite song on the playlist.
Turnovers and offensive rebounds. 7 of them by Denver in the last 9 minutes, leading to 5 points. Russ and Aaron Gordon on the glass were a problem. So Kawhi matched his postseason career high with 7 turnovers. The only other time he had that many giveaways in a playoff game was Game 4, Raptors-Philadelphia in 2019. But the Raptors still won that game. Clippers got outscored 29-9 on turnovers. Bob Murray also points out, going back to 2020, the Clippers have now lost 4 straight postseason games to Denver Nuggets. It's different teams, yes, but some of the core players are still there. They probably dodged a bullet at the end of regulation because Russ had Aaron Gordon wide open underneath the basket as James Harden left Aaron Gordon to go corral Russ. That could have been just a layup to win the game at the end of regulation.
Don't miss a moment of LA Clippers basketball. Just
Clippers lose for the first time in 20 days. And they lost a 15-point lead in the second quarter where they had 9 of their 20 turnovers. Kawhi tied a postseason career high with 7 turnovers himself. And the Clippers fall in overtime in Denver by a score of 112-110. I'm Adam Moslin. Welcome back in. This is your postgame show. Clippers talk. We'll go extra even after we're off the air. on the Patriot AM 1150. At Clippers Talk on the YouTube side is where you can find us. Christopher in LA. Christopher, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling okay, Adam. Before I start making my comments, I wanted to let you know that last night my son and I went to go see AC/DC at the Rose Bowl.
Right on. I hope the Clippers are
Yep.
back in black. I hope they're
Yeah,
back on
back in black.
Monday.
Yeah, hopefully they'll, turn up the TNT and become dynamite.
You got it. So,
Yep.
How'd you feel about the ball game? Where was it lost?
It was basically lost in that second quarter, and when they went 5 minutes without scoring. And, I felt, going into, this game and the Warrior game, I just wanted a chance for them to win at the end, which they did have, but, it just didn't come up. The cards didn't come up right for them.
I mean, it's self-inflicted. They were their own worst enemy. You can't turn it over 20 times. Kawhi can't have a game like this where he ended up with, he had 14 points in the first half. So he had just 8 points in the second half, and he had 7 total turnovers. Like, they wasted a great performance from James Harden, from Ivica Zubac, and bad performances from Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. I don't know. It feels like they gave this one away. It's no disrespect to the Denver Nuggets because they made the plays late. Clippers also let them get back into it. And, tip of the cap to the Denver Nuggets. They came through when they needed to, and that's something I worried about coming into this series. But the Clippers were in control in the first half. So I agree with you.
Oh, they were. I mean, it's like, I was kind of like the first half was kind of like the way the Houston game at the end of the season, at the end of the home season, where we would get a big lead. Houston would cut down to about 8, and then the Clippers would go on a run and put it back above double digits. So it was kind of, starting that way. But then Denver cut it to 4 at halftime, and, must have given them new life going into halftime.
They did. You go from up 15 to up just 4. And Chris, I appreciate the phone call as always, my friend. Hopefully we'll be talking after a Clippers victory on Monday night. Steph in Houston. Steph, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. What's up, Steph?
Oh, man, everything's going good, except for that loss right there.
Okay, yeah, except for that.
Except for that loss. But, man, yeah, we definitely were in control of this game, especially in the first half. I knew Denver was going to make a run just because, they're at home and, they're Denver. They're always going to make a run. But I would say, from the play standpoint, Kawhi with his 7 turnovers, he definitely has to do a better job of passing out of the double teams and not waiting so long for the double teams to come. Even on the last play with Murray when he turned the ball over, then he didn't have to wait as long as he did. He could have went. He had the mismatch. Could have went, got to his spot, and pulled up, made the shot, or at least got a good look.
I agree.
Him only 15 shots. Yeah, him with only 15 shots is like, some of that is like a couple of those turnovers we could have got shots of.
They had some indecisive plays in the fourth quarter and overtime where they were mismatch hunting, and it was small pick and roll stuff where James Harden would screen for Kawhi, so Kawhi would have Christian Brown on him, and overall Brown did a good job. It wasn't the mismatch you would have thought. Kawhi has to be better. He has to be more decisive out there and getting to his spots. Completely agree with you.
Right.
And that's probably the last thing I thought I'd be saying coming out of this game. Honestly, we're criticizing Kawhi for a poor game.
Yeah, and I don't think it was all on him. He did look tired. The altitude might have played a role in that, especially down the stretch. He did look a little gassed, but we had opportunities to win the game for sure. Another thing, I feel like Zubac is going to have to get a little closer to matching Jokic minutes because, as much as I love Batum, he can't guard Jokic. And
here's the thing. I think they actually won the small ball minutes in this game against Jokic. I'll have to double check, but I think they won the small ball minutes against Jokic in this game, guys. So I don't know if that's necessarily the point to make here, Steph. I don't think that's what they lost. If they lost them, it was like by 1. But I think they won them. I appreciate the phone call, Steph. Take a quick time out. Clippers lose 112 to 110 in OT in game 1 in Denver. I'm Adam Moslin. You're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570. Yeah, make it the Patriot AM 1150.
Auto workers in the US.
So I was tracking in the fourth quarter where the Clippers were at in the small ball minutes against Jokic. And I think they won him by 3 in the first half.
Ford is offering employee pricing.
And
you pay what Ford
I want to say they still won him by 2.
To get into that Ford you've been eyeing.
You want to call it coping, Joe? It's like, how about it's just factual?
From America, for America.
Like, I should lie and say, no, they lost them because you don't like Coach Lou, even if they didn't lose those minutes? What would you like? Come on, man.
Does my health plan even cover tests like that? In network? Out of network? Why is this always a
I didn't think Simmons was a problem.
Wait. I have Kaiser Permanente. So my
Clippers set a record with most points on the paint. Is that true? They had 60. I don't think that's a record.
Kaiser Permanente.
Let me check. You might be right.
Works. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
My perfect combination. I'll take a sunrise game of golf any day and slots all night long.
I don't see anybody else
Room
with that.
service and a gorgeous suite with a view.
Let's see. Massage, sushi, and craps.
Oh, for me, girls' night out means slots, craps, and roulettes.
Whoever you are,
And Michael Porter Jr. did nothing in this game. He was 1 of 4
perfect combination
in his 27 minutes.
Resort Casino.
Official partner of the LA Clippers.
Sorry, but some of these performances are not going to hold up by Denver in game 2. This was the game that was there for the taking. Now, maybe Kawhi plays much better, and that's the difference for the Clippers in game 2. But this was one you need to win.
On a sporty Corolla or legendary Prius. On a tough new Tacoma, powerful Tundra, or Toyota's best-selling SUV, the RAV4. So see your Toyota dealer today.
This is ironic for Mark, who was saying the refs won him that game, and the Clippers didn't lose it.
This is the LA Clippers audio.
One more timeout.
Best fans and best arena in the
One more
entire
timeout.
sport.
Take us with you wherever you are.
Oh, okay,
on the
nice.
iHeartRadio app.
Back to Clippers playoff basketball.
Well, that's a punch to the gut. Clippers did well against Jokic, against Murray, against Michael Porter Jr., and they still lose the game? They must have helped them somehow. Oh, they had 20 turnovers. Kawhi had 7 of them and only took 15 shots and only had 8 points in the second half. They did not think I'd be saying that after this ball game. Clippers lose in overtime, 112 to 110 in game 1 in Denver. They're down 0-1 in this best of 7 first round series. Ryan in Santa Ana. Ryan, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Double A. How's it going?
You've heard. You've heard how it's going.
Yeah. So the 20 turnovers weren't great. 7 from Kawhi. You might say that's Kawhi-ristic of him. So, yeah, that's not cool. I think there's a lot of positives to take away from it. Honestly, you cut down the turnovers, we should be all right. Play the same way.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. You're going to cut down the turnovers, and next game, Jokic is going to end up going like 15 of 25 from the field. He was just 12 of 24.
That was supposed to be the original plan. The original plan was, hey, let Jokic get his and then worry about the rest. The turnovers, and you got to give Denver a lot of credit.
the Clippers had a lot of momentum, and then they started foul baiting. That really cut down the momentum for the Clippers and stuff, and which was good on them. But I guess Clippers really got to like be aware of that. They were just foul baiting like crazy in order to cut down the momentum, and that's what really like dragged it on.
I thought there were a few weak calls that went against the Clippers in this game. A couple on James Harden, a call on Ivica Zubac where Jokic sold the contact. I don't think it decided the game. I don't. And there's people in the chat that are saying it did. What decided the game is the Clippers having 20 turnovers and Kawhi having 7 of them. That's where I'm going to put it.
Kawhi cleans that up, and it was good on James Harden too. He only had 2 turnovers, and the second one came late. Kawhi cleans that up, has a more efficient game. I think I see Clippers still pulling one out in Denver, and that's all they really need to do.
They have to win game 2. I mean, here's the thing. Does it turn into a must-win situation in game 2 now? If they go down 0-2, is the series over?
Yeah. No, I don't know about that, but yeah, they have to have more of a sense of urgency. Russell Westbrook really provided that for the Nuggets, to be honest. He was very aggressive, and that, I mean, we know from experience from past historics is that, yeah, it either bites you or it really helps you, and today it really helped them. So hopefully it goes in our way next time.
All right, Ryan, appreciate the phone call. Let's go to Morris in Inglewood. Morris, what's up? You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin. Hi, Morris.
Hey, how you doing, Adam? Let me tell you something. That game that Kawhi had today with them TOs, you're not going to ever see it again the rest of your life. Now, I was in a chat room during the game, right? And somebody was telling me that the stadium was electrifying. The stadium was electrifying. I wasn't there. I'm here in L.A. But check this out. That's why they got what is called a home court advantage. That stuff do mean something. Monday is a must-win. Monday is a must-win game. Why is that? Because you can't go down through love. And Denver looked like they stole the Clippers uniform. They stole the Clippers jersey. They looked like they was a better defensive team. But the Clippers need to hold their heads up, man. It could have went either way. Either way. This is a playoff game. 112 points in overtime. You know them boys are playing some defense at them. So I'm feeling pretty good. Like the previous caller said, there's some good signs here. And again, Kawhi ain't gonna never have a game like he had today. And I'm gonna leave you with that. Behave yourself, Adam.
All right, Morris with some positivity here. I like that. Appreciate it. I agree. I don't think he's going to have 7 turnovers in this playoff series or in the playoffs again. It's only happened one other time. But is the damage already done? Now, if Kawhi steps up and wins them game 2, we're good. I'm not putting it all on him. If Kawhi and the Clippers win game 2 and Kawhi bounces back in that game, we're good. But my problem is where you're talking about, it was such a close game, it was back and forth. No, it wasn't. The Clippers were up 15. They were leading till the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. I think till Russ hit that 3-pointer. From like the 7-minute mark of the first quarter till Russ hit the 3-pointer, the Clippers have been leading the entire way. So I can't characterize this as, it was just a tight back and forth ball game. Somebody had to lose. Somebody had to win. Clippers led by 15. They led by, I think, 12 in the first quarter. They let this one get away from them. Are the Nuggets going to be as bad with Jokic and Murray in game 2? I doubt it. Now, maybe it evens out and Aaron Gordon's not as good and Russ isn't as good as in game 2. I just feel like this was such a winnable game and a missed opportunity by the Clippers. That's what gets me. It's a loss, but I can't just say it's a loss all the same. The way they lost, the boost in morale the Denver Nuggets will have after winning a game in this fashion will be a problem for the Clippers moving forward. Denver has their swag or their confidence back. Clippers got to take it from them. Denver was in disarray. They fired their head coach. They fired their GM. And now they found themselves. They look pretty connected out there when they need it to be. And for them to outwork the Clippers in the fourth quarter with all those offensive rebounds, that's something I hate seeing. The Clippers were the best defensive rebounding team percentage-wise in the NBA this season. And they let that happen. Closeout possessions, you win the game. They shot 7% better from the field than the Nuggets. They shot 50%. The Denver Nuggets, 43.6%. They shot better from three. They hit 3 more three-pointers than Denver. Denver started off hitting their first 3 three-pointers. Then they went 1 for their next 11. So much went in the Clippers' favor, and they couldn't turn that into a win because of self-inflicted wounds. Got to take care of the basketball Monday night. Game 2 in Denver. Tip-off 7 p.m. Pre-game show starting at 6 p.m. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call. Zach O'Caldy back here in the bank. My brother Jake Warner thinking about you as well. And Daniel West. We'll see you on Monday night. Pre-game show starting at 6 for Game 2. I'm Adam Oslin. If you're on the YouTube side, don't go anywhere because I'm not. Now people are like,
has been Clippers talk right here on
Terrence Mann would have won this game. I don't know if Terrence Mann would have played in this game.
A single playoff edition all postseason.
After all the talk of what a good trade that was, one game and it's like, oh, shouldn't have made the trade for Bogey.
Clippers talk, baby.
Y'all so fickle sometimes. Chill.
Patriot AM 11.
Yeah, Bogey was bad. He's got to play much better. He only took 3 shots. He had bad turnovers. That steal from Jokic going the other way, like, how does that happen? Jokic, second in the league in steals. I mean, I can easily answer this, Mark, just like I always do with your questions. Like, Bogey, while not good in today's game, can actually run pick and roll, is another ball handler out there. He had a bad game. I don't think they're winning the series without Bogey. He's got to contribute. He's got to be a part of this. Certain guys, hopefully, I didn't show up in game 1, step up in game 2. And we'll listen to post-game audio coming up here. I'll have that for you guys. But you're up 15. You're up 15 in the second quarter. Got to do better. Norm has to be better too. Norm is the guy that if he's not scoring, he's not doing much else at all. He can't run pick and roll like Bogey. And Norm was 5 of 12. Deflating. We got a call here. Hold on. You're on Clipper Stock. I'll take your calls. I got to wait a little bit. I'll swing around to the other side of the computer. We'll go for another hour here. It's like this. If the guys who got the Clippers to this point aren't playing the same way, you're going to have issues. Period. Kawhi has a game like this, yeah, you're probably going to lose. 7 turnovers. Marco said Kawhi has to be better. I don't want to keep hearing about 2019. That version hasn't been available for this team since he signed. I mean, he was better in the 2021 playoffs before he tore his ACL. But Clippers have 20 turnovers, only lost by 2 points and led by 15 points. So there is hope in game 2. Of course there's hope. There's plenty of hope. I see the other side of it also. I'm trying to be objective. and look at the fact that Jamal Murray was 7 of 20 and Jokic was only 12 of 24. People are like, he still shot 50%. Great. He can easily shoot 65%, 70% in a game. You get 12 of 24 from Jokic where it takes him 29. If it takes him 24 attempts to get to 29 points, you're taking that all day against Jokic. You would side up for that before the game started. 29 points on 24 shots from Jokic. You did your job. Brett still has the Clippers going up 3-1. I wouldn't mind more Nico Batum. Rugby. I'm always for more Nico. That's an extremely big lineup. Marco said we gave the game away. Yeah, like Kawhi's their best player. If Kawhi plays better, they win. I don't like to oversimplify, but if Kawhi plays better, they win. Zubac did his part. Harden did his part. Batum, timely threes. Norm wasn't good enough in the starting lineup. I think Dunn did his part for sure. It would have been nice if he hit one of those corner threes near the end, but they actually closed out on a couple of them too. Clay said that was the easiest game we could have had, a 1-0 lead. They could have already done their job, get the split on the road. I don't know if it was a choke as much as it was credit Denver for being scrappier on the boards. Russ hit a big shot. Aaron Gordon, I need to look this up. I need to see how many points Aaron Gordon ended up having in the fourth quarter and overtime. Good God. Aaron Gordon had 13 of his 25 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. And I don't even know if they ran any plays towards him. It was just all hustle plays. Yes, you have a second chance for the split. But did they just give up their best chance at winning a game in Denver? Mikey said, yeah, but we already know the outlier is turnovers. So we should be happy how he took the game away from Murray and somewhat the Joker. If you think Murray and Joker are going to play that bad in game 2, I got news for you, Mikey. It's not happening. Denver's saying, we got away with one. We didn't play that well, and we still won. That's how Denver's feeling right now. That's the problem. Kawhi literally said recently, the goal is to get another one. Mark, why are you always wrong? Like all you do is post misinformation in here and slanted stuff. The second chance points destroyed them. Yes, Kawhi has said his goal is to get to the offseason healthy. That means he would finish the playoffs healthy for once. He also said recently, get another chip. Let's not do this. Let's not turn this into, oh, Kawhi only cares about getting to the offseason healthy. You can at least make the argument, he didn't score in about 6 minutes in that third quarter. So his last 8 points came in the fourth quarter and overtime. He also had 3 turnovers during that time, though. 3 turnovers by Kawhi in the fourth quarter and overtime. They got scrappy guys to rebound. I'm not surprised that Russ and Aaron Gordon could beat him on the glass like that. I'm not. It was extreme, but they can do that. Yeah, you see what Mark does? Now you got this guy, Jonathan, saying, if Kawhi is looking to be healthy after the playoffs, he needs to retire. You try to spin this into something it's not. Get out of here. I don't need that toxic, nasty stuff in the chat. Kawhi had a bad game. See, the problem is the same people will say this stuff, and then if Kawhi comes back and drops 30 next game and they win, they won't own it. I remember Mark said going into the Warriors game that Jimmy Butler is just a Draymond Green with a little bit more offense. And then Jimmy drops 30 in that game and dropped even more against Memphis. It's like, no, he's not just Draymond with a little bit more offense. It is a significant amount more offense. And he just acts like it doesn't happen. Some people are blaming the refs. I'm not. I don't think the Clippers got a great whistle. There was a play, though, I can tell you, I don't know if it was fourth quarter or overtime, where Kawhi got that foul on Aaron Gordon, and they could have challenged it, and I think won. That was not a foul on Aaron Gordon on that play. So the Clippers, they got some calls too. And in a game where Russ hits that big of a three-pointer, the whole DJJ clamping Westbrook, I don't know if it's a time to puff your chest out much. All right, I'm going to switch my computer around, I think, to the other side. See what Zach O'Caldy's doing here. Sheriff said we also had layup misses, so many. So did they. Jokic smoked a layup. Russ, of course, but Jokic smoked a layup. Jokic missed 2 clutch free throws late. They played that poorly at times, and they still won. I agree, Jokic did some flopping. Damian says, I can see why the people think the NBA is rigged for sure. This game was not rigged. Yeah, how do you not know hand is ball there? People saying the Clippers played good defense are wrong. Defensive position doesn't end until they get the rebound. Well, you can put it like they played good defense at times and couldn't close out possessions. They get the first stop, but offensive rebounds. I agree with you. You got to clean the glass. Sheriff OG is looking for advice. Mikey said, yeah, but Adam, isn't the goal to somewhat contain Joker or Murray anyways? No way Clippers would win anyways if they did contain these two. What? They did contain them, and they lost. The level that you'll be able to contain them next game, I think both those guys are likely going to be better. We'll hear some post-game audio coming up. I know you guys are feeling defeated. It is just game one. I mean, when they got that tech and the Clippers went up by 4, first of all, I want to go back to the start of this game some. Because the Clippers, early on, they were up 24-17. They had a 17-4 run in the first quarter. They led 26-17. They got up 29-17. Harden was getting downhill to his left at will. It looked to me like the Nuggets were trying to get everyone else involved, but Jokic early on, to get other guys in rhythm and then get Jokic going. That's what I saw early on in the first quarter. And the Clippers led by 12 in the first, guys. They had a Zubats, Bogey, Harden, DJ, Nico lineup that ended up with Denver making a quick run, 8-0 run, and they're back to within 29-25. It's a 4-point game after the Clippers were up by 12 early in the first quarter. Zoo also had a turnover in the first quarter where he was trying to get the foul on Murray, or at least he thought he was fouled on this turnover when he threw it to Murray. That wasn't happening. But they went 3 minutes, just about 3 minutes, also in the first quarter, scoreless. And Denver had a 10-0 run. You're up 12. You go 3 minutes scoreless till Harden hits a three-pointer, and now the Clippers are only up 5. Now, Harden hit another three-pointer on Christian Brown and Peyton Watson on the left wing to end that first quarter, as he had 13 straight points scored for the Clippers and had 15 points overall in the first quarter, James Harden. And they did lead 35-27 heading into the second. Clippers were up by 8. The Denver Nuggets to start that second quarter had Aaron Gordon, Watkins, MPJ, Pickett. I'm trying to think who else was out there. It might have been Jamal. And the Clippers had Bogey, Kawhi, Batum, Simmons, DJ, a lineup that Coach Lou has been using to start second quarters for a while. I've been telling you he's going to go with that. And it worked decently. Aaron Gordon immediately traveled as DJ put the clamps on him to start the second. Russ smoked a layup. Kawhi got an and one going left in transition. Clippers are up 11. Turnover, Michael Porter Jr. Clippers couldn't capitalize. Russ goes to the line. Clippers are still up by 9. DJ got a little flip shot. They're back up 11. Kawhi hits a 3. They're up by 12 at 43-31 in the second quarter. I didn't like his second foul on Aaron Gordon. I'll tell you that. I thought it was a weak call. But then Kawhi had a layup on Watson. The Clippers are up 45-31. Murray goes to the line, goes 1 of 2. They miss free throws as well. Kawhi turnover. Looking for Simmons. He had 2 turnovers in this game, one in the first half and one in the second half, where Kawhi and Ben Simmons were not on the same page. That was concerning to me. Norm would come in for Bogey, who was in the struggle all game. Ben Simmons actually drew an offensive foul on Aaron Gordon. Kawhi has another turnover. The Clippers have 3 straight turnovers after Batum had an offensive rebound but threw it away, and Peyton Watson had a layup going the other way in the second quarter. 3 straight. Now it's Norm, Ben, DJ, Kawhi, and Harden out there in the second. Jokic was out there as well. They went, I believe, +6 in the first half with Jokic off the floor, the Clippers. Now he's back in against a small ball look from the Clippers at the 7:53 mark. Kawhi immediately from the near side corner blows past Jokic for a big dunk in the second. He's up to 10 points already in the second quarter. Zoo came back in for Ben Simmons pretty soon after. So they only went with the small ball lineup against Jokic for a second, and they went +2 there. Zoo comes back in. I think it was a good time to try the small ball against Jokic and just feel it out, see what happens, because they already had a big lead, and they only added to it in the first half. So the Denver Nuggets started the second quarter 2 for 11, and I was tweeting how the Clippers should be up by more. Now, Zoo had a hammer dunk over Jokic and Jamal Murray. I believe we're about to get to the point where the Clippers are up by 15. Jokic gets an easy one on Dunn. But Kawhi gets a layup in the lane on that play where Murray rolled his right ankle in transition. And the Clippers are up 51-36. 51-36. They're up by 15. There's about 5 minutes left in the second quarter. 5:11 to be exact. Here's where things go off the rails. They ended up getting outscored in the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds. 13. Let me make sure I get this right. In the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds, they get outscored 13-2. How do you score 2 points? Like the offense was rolling, and the Clippers got outscored 13-2 the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the second quarter. Well, get ready, because there's about to be some more turnovers. First of all, out of that timeout, with the Clippers up 15, Jokic hits a floater right away. 13-point game. Kawhi misses a jumper over Jokic. It was a good look. Offensive foul as Jokic hooked Ivica Zubac. But then they call an offensive foul on Ivica Zubac on the other side right afterwards as Jokic sold it. 11-point game after an Aaron Gordon layup. Zoo misses a floater after Dunn mishandled a pass from Ivica Zubac. Otherwise, he would have had a layup. Dunn then fights for a basketball on the other end with Aaron Gordon and goes out on Dunn. Harden lost Michael Porter Jr. on something fierce. He made him touch earth on a step-back three-pointer, but he missed it. Clippers are still up by 11. Then a foul on Harden. Aaron Gordon draws it, and it's James Harden's third foul. Aaron Gordon missed both. Then there is a brutal Kawhi turnover. The 6th turnover by the Clippers in the second quarter, where he threw it right to Christian Brown, who had a full head of steam and got an easy dunk in transition. Then Harden misses. Ivica Zubac can't get it. Aaron Gordon put back. Sign of things to come. 7-point game. Denver's on an 8-0 run. The Clippers were up 15. 8-0 run now. Bogey comes in for Harden. Kawhi goes out for DJ. Turnover Norm. He had some bad ones. Russ hits a three-pointer. Sign of things to come. The 15-point lead is down to 4. It's an 11-0 Denver run in the second. Illegal defense was called on Denver, and Norm misses the free throw. Norm did have a dunk right afterwards. Their lone 2 points in the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the second quarter were that Norm dunk as he split 2 defenders. Bogey then has another turnover. Their 8th. 6-point game. Norm another turnover to end the half. Appropriately so. After Jokic hit some free throws to make it a 4-point game. The Clippers had 9 turnovers in the second quarter. And a 15-point lead was down to 4 at the half. 53-49. They went +6 in the non-Jokic minutes in the first half. They still only led by 4. I believe it was +6. Third quarter, this is interesting to me because Kawhi was just not even looking for his. It was kind of bizarre. I didn't understand it. Kawhi wasn't aggressive at all to start that third quarter, which did start with some Denver Nuggets free throws. But then Chris Dunn hit a three-pointer. Aaron Gordon layup. Zubac hook shot. Jokic jumper. He started to cook. Harden hits a three. Harden gets a layup. Jokic hits a three. I mean, the Clippers are up 67-61 with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left after a Kawhi turnover and a timeout in the third quarter. They're up by 6. I wouldn't call it control the ball game, but even with the turnovers, they were somehow surviving. Unfortunately, it would only be a 3-point game by the end of the third quarter. That was frustrating. And Kawhi just wasn't aggressive out there at all. I don't even know if he took a shot. I got to see this. The first 5.5 minutes he was in there in the third quarter. I know he didn't score. Was the altitude getting to him? Kawhi didn't take a shot to start the third quarter. That's strange, wouldn't you say? I take it back. He missed a three-pointer right before he got subbed out at the 5:24 mark. I don't get it. He just had 12 points in the second quarter. Why is Kawhi Leonard being that passive then? That's bizarre. By the end of the third quarter, even with Nico Batum getting hot, hitting a three-pointer, love seeing that. St. Nick, big shots. Clippers are up 75-68 with 2:08 left in the third quarter. But Nikola Jokic, jumper, layup. Aaron Gordon would hit free throws to start the fourth. So the Clippers also, here's another scoring slump. We got the first quarter going 3 minutes without scoring. We got the second quarter going 5 minutes and 10 seconds with only scoring 2 points. And now we have the last 2 minutes and 7 seconds of the third quarter where the Clippers go scoreless. They go from being up 7 to just up 3 after Jokic has a 4-0 run the last 2 minutes of the third. Bogey had a bad turnover. He had a miserable ball game. I can't deny it. I love Bogey, but he's got to be much, much better. And the Clippers heading into the fourth have a 3-point lead. So they shaved off 1 point. As I'm going to flip my computer around so I can take phone calls from you guys. We'll go, I don't know, another hour. I want to hear the post-game audio. Scoring droughts, you added up 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes where you only scored 2 points. We're talking about scoring 2 points in the span of 10 minutes of game time against the 21st ranked defense. I tried to tell you all I didn't buy it. I think they're better when they're focused and they care again, and it looks like Denver does. Beware. They're wide awake now. You know when the dragon gets turned by the White Walkers and the eye goes blue in Game of Thrones before the show went off the fucking rails? We still thought it was cool. That may be what just happened to Denver. I hope it's not true, but that may be what just happened to the Denver Nuggets. Because this had to be a feel-good victory for them. Appreciate you guys for hanging. I want to listen to the post-game audio. We'll have it for you in just a little bit here. I need to hear from Coach Lou. I need to hear from Kawhi. I need to hear from the players. It ain't over till I hear from the head coach. You good? Can I jump in over here? Yeah. I got to hear from Coach Lou postgame because I'm frustrated. I need to hear this postgame audio. I need to get some more phone calls. Jonathan's calling in from San Diego. Jonathan, while I get this thing set up, roll. The floor is yours.
All right, thanks. For all the folks I saw, was it Fahad, yawning tears off? Like, come on, guys. Like, Ty, y'all are blaming Ty for this. Like, yeah, Ty might have made some mistakes, but he's not out there missing good looks, which the team missed a ton of good looks in the second quarter as the lead was dwindling. Like, part of that drought was because Kawhi missed the bunny, and Zoom missed a couple chippies. Like, guys are missing good shots, and the turnovers. Like, Ty's not the one getting those turnovers. Ty's not the one throwing all those lazy passes. Ty is not the one just making really piss poor decisions out there with the ball. Come on, guys. Like, Ty's not the one that's getting out rebounded. Ty's not the one not hustling and putting in the effort like down the stretch. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, it's way too easy to blame the coach. And for all the guys complaining, like comparing Ty to Doc, like, be real, guys. Like, Doc is an overrated coach, and Ty's been really good. Like, I'll give it to you. Ty's not the most proactive coach when it comes to adjustments, and sometimes is
okay. I got a question about that, Jonathan. Yeah. Why do his peers always vote him the best in-game adjuster then?
There's a reason. Like, Ty's a really smart coach. Like, he's not dumb. Like,
but you're saying he's slow to make adjustments, and I'm like, then why does he get voted every year the best in-game adjuster? Even that I don't believe.
Right. Well, so my thing is sometimes he gets to the right adjustment, but sometimes he's also like going back to 2021. Like, I think there are some adjustments he probably could have made. I don't remember like too much in detail with some of the stuff, but like he gets to the right adjustments eventually. And I think the last couple of years in the playoffs, like Ty was really good at making proactive adjustments. That's how we won those game ones. And then once Kawhi went out, like things went out the window, and like I think that's one criticism folks have had and I've had about Ty, but that's like the least of my worries. Like, otherwise, Ty's a really good coach, and anybody who's thinking B-Shot, like, come on, guys, B-Shot only coached for 5 games and it's a small sample size. Where was everybody when we went 18-3 down the stretch, like for the rest of the season? Like, crickets. Like, no one said anything. Where were people who were complaining about Ty when we beat Golden State last week? Nothing. It's just one game, and like the players lost it. Like, Ty's not the reason Kawhi had 7 turnovers and made some really poor decisions with the ball. Okay, Ty's not the reason Harden got into foul trouble and stuff. So I'm tired of everybody in the chat saying that. So
it's overly simplistic analysis of what they're doing.
Yeah.
It shows their agenda. Yeah. Like, they're waiting for any type of slip up, even when there isn't any really. This is far from being a game that's on Coach Lou, in my opinion. Right. I don't know how you can argue otherwise. You know?
Right. So my concern is, and I don't know if it's an adjustment that Ty will make, but I don't know if this was the game plan in the fourth quarter and going into overtime. Like, when Westbrook was out there, like, Dunn was literally selling out, leaving Russ open, to kind of free range when the Clippers were on defense to go double Jokic, whoever at the key. So my issue with that was when the ball got passed around the ball went up, like, because Dunn was out of position, it allowed Russell lane to the basket. So that's where if he either got a pass, he had a layup, and he is more athletic than whoever else is down there. So his quick second jump allowed him to go for the rebound, and it basically put Dunn out of position. And then Aaron Gordon was already down there because I guess it was a cross match with Harden or Gordon or whoever. Like Gordon and Russ were killing us down on rebounds. So I don't know if it would have been a better idea to maybe zone Dunn and not like. And you were saying too, like we were helping to double on Jokic where we probably shouldn't have or even needed to. So that was a concern. Partially how we got beat and out rebounded down the stretch.
Yeah. I came into this series saying I would stay home on everybody. Now, is that the reason they lost this game? Not necessarily. It's the turnovers. It's the turnovers.
Right.
That's something that was preventable. That's something fixable, correctable. But it's also a pattern of this entire season. When things got tight, they turned the basketball over. They had multiple times this year on inbounds plays where they had turnovers. And there was another one late in this game. It happened again. So to me, it's not fluky. It's not like, this is Kawhi having 7 turnovers. Okay, you could say it's fluky, but he also did just have 5 against Golden State.
I think we kind of saw this coming. Like Kawhi's turnovers has been kind of a undertold issue going back last month or so. And I don't know if it's as he was ramping up, like part of it is right. Because he was hurt, he's not able to train like how he wants to. So, and he's still getting up to speed with some of the stuff, and just his handles aren't as tight. And
we were all just talking about how tight his handle is. Like,
well, and then also too, like I think part of it was the two passes he threw out of bounds because Ben Simmons was cutting right. Like normally, like he's throwing like that's his instinct. When he's getting in the paint like that and you got the defense's collapse on him, he's going to throw it out to the corner because the corner's open. But Ben Simmons is cutting. So it's just like, that's kind of where it's just like, you have to know your personnel and like, know not to throw it to the corner where there's nobody there. And I don't know if that's a chemistry issue or just lack of playing time because Ben Simmons was out for a decent chunk of time after he came back too. And so I don't know how much time Kawhi's had playing with Ben Simmons. So there's probably a lack of chemistry there. So I don't know if that'll get cleaned up, but like that's part of it.
All right. Jonathan, do you want me to keep you on hold in case this next caller is saying something bad about Coach Lue and then you guys can argue?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right, hold on. What do we got here? Somebody calling in from the 626. You're on Clipper Stock with Adam Moslin. What's up?
Oh, is that me? 626. Good to be on. Don't worry, I have nothing mean to say about Coach Lue.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm sorry? Oh, my name is Noah. I'm calling from Arcadia, California.
Well, if your name's Noah, it's got to be a good phone call. Let's go.
Oh, exactly. Beautiful. Noah Eagle. Shout out to Noah Eagle. So first of all, I just wanted to say I found a $20 bill right after watching this game. I was extremely sad walking out of a coffee shop, and then I bent down, and there was a $20 bill right next to my foot. And so I take that to mean we're going to win this series very, very easily. All 4 games in a row from now on, that $20 bill basically convinced me. I was a doomer after the game, and then I found a 20, so I am good to go.
Well, if every Clipper fan found a 20, they might feel like you right now, but maybe there is something to that. I know there was a lot of found money with all the turnovers.
For every Clipper fan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Somebody turned over their money to me.
All right. You got anything else to say about this game, analysis-wise?
Well, what I will say is the turnovers were terrible. They were really hard to watch, and that's something that's been a problem all season. But rebounding, I'm not necessarily as worried about. I heard a lot of people after this game saying that we took Michael Porter Jr. completely out. And my thought was Michael Porter Jr. was basically a non-factor for most of the game. People were like, they took him out. But I just thought he was not playing very well and not putting a ton of effort in. So I feel like that small win that a lot of Clippers fans are trying to take, I didn't see it that way at all. Maybe you disagree. But it
I
feels
don't
like
feel.
Michael Porter Jr.
To me, there's no silver lining in that. Okay, you took him out and still lost the game. Jokic didn't have a great game. Murray didn't have a great game. You still lost the game. I don't feel better about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel better either, even if it was the case where I felt like our guys were just completely clamping him and he could get nothing off. It's like, great, now everybody else is getting something off, so why are we not worried about that?
Well, they weren't, though. I mean, they scored
do think-
112 points in overtime. They got to overtime and still scored 112. That's nothing. They shot 44% from the field. Like, you got the defensive performance you needed to. You didn't close out some of those possessions because they got offensive rebounds, but they got them to miss those first shots. And then in the fourth quarter, they kept getting second chance points.
Yeah, the rebounding was completely brutal. It was really hard to watch. Besides that, I mean, the only one thing that I have to say was something that may not have been addressed on stream yet was the question of what the Nuggets looked like on the bench. It really looked like Adelman was not in control a lot of the game, even though they did win. So my question is, what do you take from all of the footage of Jokic screaming on the sidelines, looking very exasperated? A lot of Nuggets fans were coming into this series saying, like, vibes are really, really high and things like that. I didn't see that tonight, although they did play with unbelievable effort. They were really, out hustling the Clippers, but it also looked like they were not happy on the bench at any point. And Jokic, it seemed like, was steamrolling Adelman over there on the bench. And when he did, they started winning and winning their minutes. So I'm wondering what you take out of that, Adam.
Not much. Nikola Jokic is fiery like that, and he does that in playoff games. Honestly, I don't think that's out of the ordinary for him. I didn't see if he drew up a play or anything like that late in the game because he has done that recently. But I don't think he's rattled. I think if anything, they're feeling great about a victory in this manner over the Clippers. That's awesome for them.
Absolutely.
So I don't.
Oh, after the game, I'm sure they were smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's we'll see as the series goes on, I guess, when it comes to monitoring that situation. But I appreciate the phone call. Anything else?
Thanks for having me on.
All right.
No, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Have a great stream.
Right on. Appreciate you. Look, I have the post-game audio, but I just want to go through some of this stuff that occurred in the fourth quarter in overtime as we kind of go through and recap how this game ended up getting away from the Clippers. They're up 75-72 heading into the fourth. Murray, MPJ, Watson, Westbrook, and Aaron Gordon start the fourth quarter. I didn't feel like the Clippers took advantage of that enough. They had Kawhi, Simmons, Bogey, DJ, and Batum, the same lineup that started the second quarter, the same lineup they've been playing. I've been telling you that's going to be what Coach Lou goes to, obviously. That's the rotation to start second quarters. AG stole it immediately from Bogey, another turnover. Russ missed the layup. That was a gift, but it does happen with Russ. DJ misses a three. AG gets fouled and goes to the line, goes 1 of 2. He fouls Kawhi. It was not a foul. That foul early on Aaron Gordon, I didn't think was a foul on Kawhi. He was asking for it. He got it. He hit both free throws. Now the Clippers are up by 4. Kawhi then had a big dunk going past Michael Porter Jr. and Peyton Watson. Murray then gets Kawhi on him on a switch, which I don't think he wanted. That didn't make a ton of sense. Kawhi misses. DJ offensive rebound, gets fouled. But then Kawhi has a turnover. That was the second time where he and Ben Simmons were on a completely different page. Maybe a different book in this game, you could say, with how many miscues Kawhi and Ben Simmons had. That's frustrating. That stuff, I get it. They haven't played together a ton, but you don't exactly want to be working these things out on the fly either, right? So we're talking about a 3-point game after Aaron Gordon gets fouled by Bogey after another turnover by Kawhi, looking for Ben Simmons. It goes out of bounds. Gordon goes to the free throw line. This time he hits both. Clippers lead by 3 at 79-76 with 8:52 left in the ball game. It still felt like the Clippers were in decent shape. Not great shape, but decent shape at this point. Bogey misses a three-pointer afterwards. He went 0 of 3. Miserable ball game from Bogdanović. He's got to be much better. Jokic and Simmons pick up a foul then, a rare double foul call as they're battling on the perimeter. That's basically like, you kids play nice. We're going to call a foul on both of you. Jokic to Russ, dunk, 1-point game. Harden comes in for bogey. There's still no Zoo out there. Kawhi hits a jumper. Clippers up by 3. Murray 3 ties the game as Simmons didn't step up on the switch to contest that three-pointer. Zoo comes back in at the 7:12 mark. Batum hits a three-pointer, and underneath the basket, Jokic and DJ, who had been battling for boards throughout this one, got tied up, and Jones Jr., I think inadvertently, and nothing malicious there, caught Nikola Jokic in the nose. He tried to flop. He tried to sell it. He got upset with the referee. He ends up being called for a technical. Harden hits the free throw. The Clippers are now up by 4. I thought that was a big moment in the ball game, to be honest with you. There's 6:41 left. It's 85-81 Clippers. Now DJ gets a steal, breaking up a DHO from Jokic to Murray. Beautiful play. Gets fouled by Russ on the other end. I kind of was hoping DJ would have yammed that and got the and one. But he hit both free throws. 6-point game. Jokic bucket. 4-point game. Clippers now have Batum, DJ, Kawhi, Harden, and Zoo out there. Zoo finishes with the right hand off a great feed from James Harden. It's 89-83. I'm feeling good. Clippers up by 6. 5:49 left. Right after that, though, Christian Brown. Up and under. Tough layup between defenders. Harden, turnover. I can't take it. I can't take these turnovers. Ball goes out of bounds. Murray hits a three-pointer. This is a really critical point of the game because it's a 1-point game after Murray hits that 3 after the James Harden turnover, but then Batum hits a 3. It's back to 4. 4:41 left. Only problem, Aaron Gordon's going to respond the very next possession. 1-point game again. This time, they both miss. Batum misses a three-pointer. Christian Brown misses one on the other end. Russ gets a layup. Denver is up, I believe, for the first time since like the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Russ layup puts them up 93-92. Unbelievable. Russ hit some key buckets. It was a putback off that Christian Brown miss. Clippers down by 1. DJ then missed a really easy one on the other end. A little floater. Russ misses a layup, though. Harden gets fouled. Denver didn't have one to give. Harden hits both free throws. Free throws have been an issue at times. He hit both there. The Clippers are back up 94-93. Now it feels like the Clippers versus Russ. Russ, another layup. After it was Dunn and Jokic, Dunn and Zubats both kind of being out of position because of all the attention that goes to Nikola Jokic. So the Clippers go from being up 1 after the Harden free throws, down 1 after the Russ layup. Credit Jokic for just the gravity there. 95-94, Denver in the lead. Kawhi Leonard now misses a 3 on Christian Brown. Was hunting him, He was trying to get the switch onto him, get AG off of him, get Christian Brown on him. Russ misses a three. Aaron Gordon gets a rebound on the other end. Another missed three on Murray. Dunn takes it away, but a foul gets called on Dunn on Aaron Gordon. We're talking back-to-back offensive rebounds by Denver. Out of bounds play. Jokic misses. Gets fouled on the rebound then by Norm. 4 Clippers are there. Inexplicably, Jokic goes to the free throw line and misses both with a 1-point lead with 1:27 left. He missed both. Clippers come back the other way, and Ivica Zubac gets an easy one. They're back up 1 at 96-95. Unreal. I still can't believe Jokic missed them both. Now comes some offensive rebounds. Russ, an offensive rebound on a Jokic missed three. But another miss by Aaron Gordon. Norm rebound. The Clippers are up by 1. They're going to win this game, right? And by the way, that Jokic layup that he got. It was a goaltend call after it already hit the backboard on Aaron Gordon to put him up 96-95. The Clippers now have the basketball with a 1-point lead. The ball goes off of Kawhi on the far sideline when he has the matchup against Jamal Murray. He hit it out of his hands. It went off Kawhi. The coach is there, and Jason Powell, the head trainer, grabbed the basketball to make sure the Denver Nuggets don't inbound it right away. It was Jeff Van Gundy and Jason Powell fighting with the basketball with Nikola Jokic. Incredible drama. The play gets challenged by Coach Lou. I don't fault him for that. I mean, what are we talking about? There's 33 seconds left. You kind of have to. The Clippers had the ball with Murray on Kawhi, everything you wanted there, and it goes off of Kawhi. The play stands. It's Denver's ball. 33 seconds left. Chris Dunn comes over to help on Jokic. Russell Westbrook is wide open for a left wing three-pointer. He makes it. The Clippers are down by 2. Interestingly enough, typically you're down by 2 on the road. You go for the 3 to win it. I thought this was a brilliant move from Coach Lou. They didn't see it coming. They went quick strike with James Harden down the left alley to get a quick layup. The game's tied at 98. Denver has the basketball. James, who just made that play to tie the ball game with 18 seconds left, ends up with a stellar defensive play, swarming Russell Westbrook, who lost the basketball as time expired in regulation. Both teams tied at 98. Now, if Russ was a little bit quicker there, James left Aaron Gordon. He was on the left block all alone. Russ could have found him for a game-winning layup. He didn't. Turned it over, lost the basketball. We're headed into overtime. Tied at 98. Yes, 98 is a defensive battle in today's league. First, we get an Aaron Gordon dunk in OT. Harden layup the other way. Problem was, first to 100 wins. Denver got there first. We're tied at 100. Russ misses a 3. Norm loses it. Stripped by Gordon. Murray misses a 3. Russ put back no, but is fouled. He missed the second, so it's 101 to 100. Dunn misses a good look at a 3. I think there was a late close by Jamal Murray. Murray gets a bucket now on the other end. 3-point Denver lead. Kawhi hits a big mid-range shot. It's 103 to 102. Aaron Gordon layup. Harden turnover. Christian Brown saves it from going out of bounds. Jokic gets fouled by Kawhi, foul to give. Clippers are down by 3. Russ misses a 3. Gets a rebound, misses it. Aaron Gordon gets it. Kawhi takes it. That was a hell of a play defensively by Kawhi. And he gets fouled by Christian Brown. They had a foul to give, but Harden would end up hitting a floater on Murray. 105-104. Clippers are down by 3. Biggest shot of the game now. Christian Brown, 3-pointer. Clippers down by 4. That was crazy shot with 59 seconds left. Was it over? No. Dunn misses a 3-pointer. Kawhi is going for the rebound but doesn't get the call. He thought he was pushed by Aaron Gordon. But then Dunn gets the steal. I believe that turnover, I want to see who it was credited to here. It was Jamal Murray. Looking for Jokic, I believe. Dunn gets the steal. Kawhi gets it to James Harden. 3-pointer. It's a 1-point game. 108-107. The Clippers still are in this with 27 seconds left in overtime. I like seeing that. Norm fouls with 10.9 seconds left. So you got Aaron Gordon going to the free throw line. He's already missed there. He wouldn't miss this time. Oh, no, by the way, this was after he got the offensive rebound off a miss from Russell Westbrook, so they had to foul, or else the shot clock could expire. They go up by 3. On the inbounds pass on the far side corner, on the far sideline, I should say, the ball goes off James Harden. They don't review it. That's frustrating. I don't get why you wouldn't review that, but then again, I'm not positive about the rule. The Clippers were down 3. There was still time. 9 seconds left. Ends up being a turnover. They intentionally foul Jokic. He hits both free throws. Norman Powell hits an inconsequential 3-pointer. Game over. Clippers ended up losing 112-110 in overtime. Let's hear from Coach Lou postgame.
In overtime, trying to get a win here, having a 15-point lead, 20 turnovers. What did you tell the guys after it was over?
We're in good shape. We just got to do what we're supposed to do. We talked about we can't turn the ball over 20 times and expect to beat a good team. And so 20 turnovers for 29 points. It's hard to beat a good team. We turn the ball over that many times, but we saw some things, did some things right, some things we could have did better, which we know. So, we just got to be better with our execution. I think defensively, understanding what we're doing, and then offensively, understanding how we want to attack. So I thought we did a good job in the first half, and then the second half, we got away from the attack mindset of getting to the paint, getting to the basket.
No, wait a second. Did I just hear him say they got away from the attack mindset in the second half?
Yeah, we got away from the attack mindset of getting to the paint, getting to the basket.
They didn't get to the paint or die trying. I want to look at points in the paint, first half versus second half. Yeah, I know. I don't know who's running the white noise maker in the background. So the Clippers had an advantage of 36-24. 36 points in the paint in the first half. They ended up, I want to say, with what, 60? So they had 24 points in the paint in the second half. But what did Denver have in the second half? So they had 24 in the first half, and they ended up with 56. So where they have 32. So the Clippers got worse in points in the paint. Denver got better as the game went along.
What were some of the things they did well defensively in the second half to kind of limit what you guys were doing to keep themselves in the
They got physical. They got more physical defensively. I thought Jokic did a good job of just mixing up his coverages, whether he's going to blitz or going to be in a drop, and we just didn't read it well once he did do that. But I just thought their physicality, really changed the game defensively.
He thought they were much more physical in the second half. Like, people just say stuff. Ty lost this game with the stupid rotations. Like, what were the stupid rotations? People just want to blame him for everything. The stupid rotations had 20 turnovers. Like, it's because the rotations or because Kawhi had 7 unexpectedly. Bogey had 3 or 4. Norm. That's not on Ty. He came in saying the first thing he said heading into this week of prep against Denver, what do they have to do? Take care of the basketball. That's what he said. They didn't do it.
Piggybacking off of that, it's not a team, Denver, that forces a lot of turnovers. They prioritize and keeping your team off the free throw line. Like, how can your team do a better job of drawing fouls if they're going to be as physical as they are on the ball?
I mean, but they're not going to foul. We talked about it before. Like, just drive the basket. Drive to the basket and lay the ball up. Like, they're not going to contest high. They don't have shot blocking. And we did it in the first half, and I thought second half we got away from that. And so the things we talked about before the game, offensive rebounds, did a good job, except for the last 4 minutes of the game. And then 20 turnovers is way too many to try to beat a good team, especially on the road. Don't have shot blocking. And we did it in the first half, and I thought second half we got away from that. And so the things we talked about before the game, offensive rebounds, did a good job, except for the last 4 minutes of the game.
They talked about offensive rebounds. They did a good job, except for the last 4 minutes of the game. They had 9 offensive rebounds the last 7 minutes of the game.
And then 20 turnovers is way too many to try to beat a good team, especially on the road.
Sorry, was fatigue at all a factor in the second half, specifically the third quarter? Like, guys,
it could have been, but we're still trying to be tired now. I mean, it's in the playoffs.
How was Kawhi?
I think Kawhi, okay, Justin Rousseau picked up on what I saw too, what many of you might have seen. Kawhi came out early in the third quarter. He looked a little bit tired, and I think that's what he's going to ask him about here.
Right now, I mean, it's in the playoffs.
How was Kawhi doing? Because I know you kind of shortened his rotation the first and third quarters. Usually you leave him until about the 3-minute mark. You took him out about 5. Was that pre-planned or was it just?
Yes, sir.
All right, he says it was pre-planned to take him out then.
Ty, what did you make of just kind of a strange play when Nicola was grappling with Jeff for that ball in the front corner there? What did you just make of that?
I didn't see it. I thought you were talking about he did it with me too, trying to get the ball in fast. But that's smart. If a team has a chance to challenge, you want to get the ball in quick. We tell our guys to do the same thing, but he is the best at it.
Stopping Jokic from getting the ball in too quick so they could still review that out-of-bounds play with Kawhi.
Obviously, an uncharacteristic night for Bogey tonight offensively. Do you feel like the way that they went at him defensively affected him on the other end?
I don't think so. I just think, just getting into the series, I think understanding how they're going to play him, how they're going to try to attack. And he can't get frustrated when teams try to attack him. Just stand your ground, be physical, play good positional defense, and he'll be okay. I'm not worried about Bogey. He'll be fine.
He said, I'm not worried about Bogey. He'll be fine. He has to be. I don't know if they can get by in this series without him. Honestly.
Like, overall, are you happy with what you guys accomplished? Well, not accomplished, but that you played these guys into overtime? What are you looking forward to next time? When you play the guys for next game?
Win. We expect to win. We're not happy because we went to overtime. They're a good team, and we're a good team as well. We just got to do what we're supposed to do. Take care of the basketball, keep them off the glass, and then we'll be fine. But if you turn over 20 times against a team that is number 1 in offensive transition, then you're going to lose the game. And so we understand that. We just got to be better.
I told you as soon as we came on that Coach Lou, one of the first things he's going to talk about is the turnovers. Like, they talked about it before the game. 29 points off of 20 turnovers. That's how you lose. There's not a lot to this. Guys still could have been better in other areas, but this was the main reason they lost.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Kawhi Leonard postgame.
Quiet. You got to start with the turnovers. Obviously, you've never had a game with more in your playoff series. Like, when you think about how those turnovers happen, like, how can you feel like you can be better with that going forward?
You just got to be decisive, get more in attack mode situations, and that's it really. A lot of the turnovers we cause. That's all you can do.
Be more in attack mode, be more decisive. A lot of the turnovers we caused.
One of the time right in front of the bench when Jamal was guarding you, I guess you were trying to size him up, and it wound up being a challenging turnover.
He hit the ball, and it hit off me, and it went out.
Kawhi said he hit the ball, it went off me, it went out. Didn't offer any more of an explanation of what happened there against Jamal Murray.
When you guys lose a tough game like this in overtime, what's the process now going forward for game 2?
The same process. You see what we did wrong, and I try to figure it out. It was the turnovers tonight, so we got to try to limit that and be better next game.
It was the turnovers tonight. We got to try to limit that and be better next game.
What was the general mood like in the locker room after this game? You guys led for basically 40 of the first 48 minutes. What was the feeling?
It was still good. It was just game 1. Denver's a good team, especially at home. Still got game 2.
Justin Russo asked him about the vibe of the locker room. This is encouraging.
What was the general mood like in the locker room after this game? You guys led for basically 40 of the first 48 minutes. What was the feeling?
It was still good. It was just game 1. Denver's a good team, especially at home. Still got game 2.
Kawhi's going to be even keel about it. I expect him to respond.
Kawhi, you obviously know Russ, very well from recent years. What did his energy just kind of do for them late in the stretch of that game?
Just getting offensive rebounds, knocking down big shots. That's where the energy came from him.
Kawhi, how encouraging is
Russ got some big rebounds, knocked down some big shots.
it for you to see for James to have the performance he did, especially getting out to 15-point first quarter?
It was great. It's been great all year. It was great tonight, and he pretty much was carrying us throughout the game.
Talking about James Harden, he was great. Pretty much carried us throughout the entire game. Now we hear from James Harden.
James, you guys had the 20 turnovers. How much was that with just
That's the game.
That's the game right there.
That's the game right there.
That's the game. I want to see how many turnovers did James Harden end up having? 2. 11 assists to 2 turnovers. He was spectacular. Not just the 15-point first quarter, but all the big shots he hit in this game. Ugh. It's so frustrating to burn a game this good from James.
Nothing else. Yeah.
And going forward now, so the idea is to take better care of the ball. And what else do you guys have to do to execute to try to get a win?
Yes, it was turnovers that was just unforced. That's the game right there. Nothing they did is us, all us.
Nothing they did, it's all us.
James, to that point, Ty said he feels like you guys are in pretty good shape because a lot of the reasons why this game didn't go your way was self-inflicted. How big of a sense is that for you guys right now? And obviously, you don't want to be down 1, but how much does that encompass?
No, it's confidence. Confidence is always going to be there. It's a little frustrating, just because it's self-inflicted and it's something that, we've been really good at, these last few weeks. But even kill, come back in game 2, we're going to be even better.
He said it's frustrating because it's been something we've been really good at the last few weeks. And this is true. They came into this series better in the turnover department. But if you look at against good teams, they've had some bad turnovers at times, just like against Golden State.
James, we haven't seen you have to navigate foul trouble as much. How are you able to do that to get through it? picking up early fouls and to be effective when you run.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
How do you stay out of foul trouble? You said figure it out. I thought he had a couple of tough whistles on him, on Aaron Gordon. Gordon just falling over, crashing through the lane, running right through James Harden. I'm not saying they got a good whistle tonight by any means, guys. I'm also saying at the same time, it didn't decide the game.
Just to follow up, you guys did have 15-point lead. You guys were hitting the paint early. What do you feel like you can continue to do that? And how do you kind of get your teammates, not necessarily you, but your teammates to continue to do that rather than the ball's in your hands, whether you're on the floor or not?
That's part of the game plan. Get to the paint. Get to the paint. Good things happen for us. So, we talked about it the last couple of days, and even tonight. Get to the paint and good things happen. We generate pips and open shots for our team. So, I try to do better. Game 2.
They got to the paint early. They didn't get to it as much late, but there were even times in the second quarter, end of the second. Did they get to the paint enough then when they had 2 points in the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the second quarter? Again, in a 10-minute stretch of this game, when you combine 2 minutes at the end of the third, 3 minutes in the first quarter, 5 minutes in the second quarter, we're talking about a 10-minute stretch when you combine all those quarters in times where they didn't score, where they scored 2 points over a 10-minute stretch total. That's unbelievable.
James, even if a lot of it was there anything that the Nuggets were doing defensively that you feel like threw you guys off at all? Ball pressure, Russ as a safety, anything like that?
You look at the game, I think the first half we had 10 turnovers and had, I think, 14, 15 points, just easy layups, like some things you can't, like uncontested layups, things you can't fight back from. So, we just got to be better a little bit.
Even with the
We got to be better. We will be.
frustration, is it the confidence that you guys, if you see that scheme, those same types of coverage that you can solve it?
It's only a handful of things that, defensively that you can do. What I mean? So, and the Joker, either he's going to be up in pick and roll, trying to blitz, or he's going to be in deep coverage. For us, it's just, getting shot up on the glass and, giving ourselves a chance to get the offensive rebound.
Get a shot up. Get a shot up. They shot 50% from the field, 12 of 33 from the outside. It's not great. It's 36%. But they got up 8 less shots than Denver because of all the turnovers, because the offensive rebounds. Not getting a shot up with an offense as good as the Clippers. Let's say you lose games like this.
James, it's your guys' first game in a week, and you're playing at altitude. Could those have been factors in fatigue leading to what?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out too. Like literally trying to figure out what the hell was the reason for it. So we watched them get better and better into.
James said he's trying to figure it out too. The reason for all the turnovers was it altitude, fatigue going on. What was it? What was the problem? Toby gets it. Like, part of the game plan is, force the ball to Russell Westbrook. He was 5 of 17. You can't stop everybody. With somebody as good as Jokic, he's going to demand more attention his way. So somebody's going to be open. Shouldn't that guy be Russ? Doesn't that make sense? Russ burned him with a big three-pointer. I get it. He was also 5 of 17. Russ can hit that 3, and if you're up by 8, you're fine. You're still fine. It's not even getting shots up because you're turning the ball over so much on the other end that kills you. I do, though, agree with Jonathan Ng here. Dunn helping Jokic on the wing in overtime and leaving Russ completely hurt because Dunn's then out of position to battle for rebounds with Russ. But you do have to show Jokic a variety of looks and make him think You have to keep him off balance. You have to make him think, oh, a double could be coming or maybe it's not. So then there's times where the double doesn't come and he gets rid of the basketball because he thinks it's coming, even though he might have had the advantage there. That's part of the cat and mouse game against Nikola Jokic. Yeah, I agree with Toby. You can't stop everything. If anybody else wants to call in, I'll take your phone call. Otherwise, I'm going to go watch the Lakers game and maybe I'll do another show later on, or maybe I'll just wait till tomorrow, depending on how frustrated I am with this loss. It's how you win. It's how you lose. Always. This stuff matters. Now in the playoffs, if they back their way into a victory, and you get away with it, I'm good. It's more about result than process. But when you're looking at how they lost this game, I'll ask Jonathan. Jonathan, would you have rather just them lost by 10 than be up by 15, or, have a give the game away in this fashion? Would you rather have just lost a game by 10 where Denver just looked better, or lost a close game by 1 where it was back and forth the entire way and Denver just hit one more shot? Because I don't like losing a game in this fashion, to be honest.
I think I think probably better to lose it this way. Sometimes if you get shellacked, there's not much really you can take away from things. And with just the way we lost this game, there's definitely a lot of film that can be looked at, and just stuff can be taken away from it to improve next game. Because if you get shellacked, you the other team it was probably just an effort thing and not much you can get loss over.
You're saying they could spin this in the locker room like, hey, they didn't beat us. We lost this game. We gave this game away. We're better. If we don't give the game away, we're the better team.
Yep.
I can see that.
So I think,
my problem is if you also look at the box score and go, oh, Jokic wasn't even that good. Jamal Murray wasn't good at all. Michael Porter Jr. did nothing. And we lost this game. It was there for the taking.
Well, so also too, right? I think in overtime, I think after Russ hit that 3, whenever it was, the Nuggets had a swagger to them, and they got the crowd back into it. So you could totally tell the momentum was on the Nuggets side, and the Clippers, I don't know, they're what I don't know if some of their body language was they had their heads hanging low a little bit, but they had the energy sucked out of them, and I think they'll be prepared next game and have a fire. I think we all predicted the Clippers get the split on the first 2 games in Denver, so there's still a chance. And I think I can't imagine Clippers coming out and having another 20 turnover game in game 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just I also think Jokic can play better, Murray can play better, Michael Porter Jr. can play better, and you got a new set of problems. You may have fixed this, but there are other things that are outside of your control that actually went in your favor. I'm not saying they didn't do a good job on Murray and Jokic. They did. They did a really good job overall defensively. But, yeah. Jonathan, hold on.
Right.
I want to see what else we got here. We got somebody from the 380 calling in on Clipper Stock. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Barry, I'm calling from Ohio.
Barry from Ohio. Have you called in before?
Yep, I have.
You sound familiar.
Clippers out in Ohio.
That's right.
Fans out in Ohio.
That's right. Barry, how are you feeling? How is Clipper Nation doing right now in Ohio after this loss?
I think the game turned as soon as we started moving away from the Zuno pick and roll in that second quarter. And we started running more. I feel like it was isolation. I don't know what exactly it was, but they really couldn't stop the pick and roll from what I was seeing. It was either a layup or an easy hook from Zoo. And even the corner was open sometimes. And the second we started veering away from that, it just shifted the whole offense into it was stagnant that last 4 minutes of the second quarter. And that's where I feel like the momentum shifted.
Yeah. A lot of it was hard and tough shot making in the first quarter to get to those 15 points. He scored their last 13 of the first quarter. I still felt like, I'd have to go back and watch, and maybe I'll do that tonight. I still feel like a lot of it was just turnovers getting in the way of their offense, as in their offense, when they got shots up, was pretty good. It's just getting to that point was the problem for them.
My biggest concern right now would be Bogey getting played out of the series. Because if he's not scoring and he's not playmaking and he's a liability on defense, I don't know if we could play him. He has to be able to start. He has to be able to play, make out of the pick and roll, and he has to hit those wide open shots.
I love Bogey, but he's got to play much better. I agree with you. The turnovers from him, because his added playmaking is big for this team. If he's getting stripped like that, now you're in real trouble. Because if he's not hitting,
for a second he was. It felt like for a second he was a little shook up in that, when they were like going at him constantly. It was like 4 possessions where it was either AG going at him or Murray going at him. I felt like that kind of got into his head and it made him kind of like press on the offensive end, because he was like, I'm not getting stops on the defensive end, so I have to put up, either I have to get an assist or score. And he was kind of pressing to like make those passes that were, in my opinion, they weren't the smartest passes to make, especially that. I remember it was like early in the third quarter where he made like some bounce pass in between Jokic trying to like split the double team or whatever with the bounce pass. And the turnovers were the biggest part as well, I feel like, and Kawhi not being as aggressive as he should be.
Yeah. I think I'm probably overanalyzing the Kawhi aggressiveness, but he did only take 1 shot in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. And that was a little bit strange to me. He looked tired out there, and Justin Rousseau picked up on that and also asked about it post game. So it wasn't just me.
How do you feel about AG's defense on him though? Because AG, in my opinion, was playing some pretty good defense on him as well. So I was a little worried about that. I haven't really seen Kawhi kind of get stopped like that in a while.
I got a tweet from 2023 that says, I think AG is the best defender in the Western Conference on Kawhi Leonard. So I came into this series knowing that he would be tough. So that's a problem. They also doubled a lot, and that's part of the reason he didn't get a shot off or as many shots. He only got up 15. But the bogey concern is real, and it's fair. But here's the thing. Where else do you go if Bogey's not playing well? And maybe that's why you have so much concern about Bogey. Like if he's not playing well in the series.
I also think as this series like prolongs and the longer we get into this series, I think at some point Russ is going to be put out of the series. He's going to be unplayable. And then I feel like Ben Simmons at some point is going to be unplayable, because how did you feel about Ben Simmons' play today?
Honestly, I thought he was all right. Like, I didn't feel like it's the 2 mistakes are him and Kawhi getting crossed up with some of their passes.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I didn't feel that poorly about it. There was a play where he was really being physical with Nikola Jokic, and I liked what I saw there, to be honest. I was like, okay, Ben's engaged.
Do you think with his style of offense, without him looking at the basket as much and him playing real passive, you can continue to be a positive on the court? Because I understand his defense is good, but we can't play Zoo with him. And
no, I agree with that.
I don't know if it's good to, have a small playing against. I mean, we didn't lose those small ball minutes. But
this is my point. What was your name again? I always forget.
Barry.
I'm pretty sure they won the small ball minutes against Jokic in this game. I think they won those minutes.
Yeah.
If they lost them, it was -1. I'm pretty sure they won them. So the analysis of why wasn't, people are saying in here in the chat, why wasn't Zubats completely matched up against Nikola Jokic's minutes? Well, I don't think they lost those minutes. So trying to point to that is the factor for why they lost this game is meaningless to me. They didn't lose those minutes. Find something else to criticize Coach Lue about. Like, you're off. You're trying to search for like a narrative that didn't even happen in this game. They didn't lose the minutes of small ball against Jokic. Now, I think it was only 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but they didn't lose them.
Before I do underline, how likely do you think that game plan that the Denver Nuggets use is replicatable another 3 more times to win the series? Because to me, I think for us, it was like as good of a loss as you could have. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you feel like that. I mean, I don't feel like that because I just don't know.
We had. So you think they could replicate that 3 more times?
Do you think Jokic is only going to go 12 for 24 3 more times, or Jamal Murray's going to go 7 of 20 3 more times, or Michael Porter Jr. is only going to have 3 points? I'm looking at the other side of it and going, they got the game they needed from those 3 guys.
If they don't have Russ the rest of the series, can they win this? Because I think at some point Russ is going to be unplayable.
What? But why?
What do you mean, but why? We just leave him open.
Well, here's the thing.
He does Russ things.
But Russ was 5 of 17.
He almost cost him the game today.
Barry, he was 5 of 17 in this game, and they still won. He did miss shots, and they still won.
Yeah, I see. I see what you're saying.
That's my concern. Now, if they don't give up all those offensive rebounds, if they don't have that many turnovers, the Clippers win. And those are things they can correct.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. Jokic can be much better than he was today. That's what's scary to me. He didn't have a triple-double. He was below his season averages across the board. But we'll see. I'm still hopeful because Kawhi can be way better.
Without Harden, didn't we play lineups without Harden or Kawhi?
I didn't see that.
I don't think we can continue. I don't think we're going to continue to do that. I think we're going to stagger their minutes and have at least one of them out there.
Yeah,
because the full bench lineup is not going to work. That's not going to work, especially if Bogey's not being Bogey or regular season Bogey. Yeah, it's not going to work.
I can tell you exactly what lineups they played today and find for how many minutes they went without Kawhi and James Harden on the floor. I'm looking at it right now. So their starting lineup, I'm going to bring it up for you right now. Their starting lineup, I think, got outscored by 5. Yes, they did. They lost their 26 minutes by 5 points. They outscored Denver with, wouldn't you know, that second unit lineup I've been talking about. It was only 7 minutes, but the Nico, Kawhi, Bogey, Ben Simmons, DJ lineup went +5. The next most played lineup was Nico, James, Kawhi, Zubats, DJ. They went +1 in 4 minutes. Now let's see. I'm still looking for. Okay, that lineup without Harden and without Kawhi played 1 minute, and they got outscored by 1.
So yeah, that isn't that bad.
Bogey, Norm, Chris Dunn, Zubats, DJ. Now hold on. There could have been another lineup without both of them. I'm looking to make sure. Okay, hold up. Nico, Bogey, Norm, Ben, DJ went -2 in 1 minute.
That's the game right there. We lost a 2-point game.
That's fair, but is that the game, or is their starting lineup going?
The turnovers was the game. The turnovers.
Well, also,
how many points did they get off turnovers? Because I don't believe that's replicatable. They got like 26 points or however many off of turnovers. If we're going to give up that many points on turnovers, we're not going to win the series. We might get swept if we're going to play like that. But I just don't think we're going to give up 20.
I agree with you. Their starting lineup being outscored
by
like
against
5.
our half-court defense, they weren't really getting the looks that they usually would get against other teams. I feel like our defense in the half-court was playing well, it's just the sloppy turnovers, the sloppy ones, the top of the key turnovers when nobody running back, where they're getting easy layups, were killing us.
I just don't put a lot into a lineup that only plays for 1 minute, and you lose it by 2, so they make one shot on you. I mean, I can't put that much. I just can't. I can't put that much into it, honestly. Even though.
So what do you think caused us being stagnant in the second half? Because I feel like it was us not running the pick and roll in the second half that like really caused that. Because it looked like for a second they couldn't stop it until they started blitzing James, and then once they started blitzing James, we had other people open at the 3-point line. But then it went from us killing them in the first half with the pick and roll to us becoming stagnant, looking like we're running ISO ball with Kawhi, and Kawhi wasn't indecisive. So
my guy, anytime someone starts bringing up ISO ball and them running too much ISO ball, I roll my eyes and go, you realize they got Kawhi and James Harden. Of course, you're going to run a lot of ISO ball. Like,
I know, but they got to be smarter on that. They got to pick their spots, because Jokic is a liability. He's a liability on defense. I feel like if we just run the pick and roll to death, he can't mess with it. But yeah, I know we're an ISO team.
All right. Well, I appreciate the phone call, Barry. I think you made some good points.
You have a good one.
All right, call in. We'll be doing Clipper Stock every day. We'll be back. Check the live section.
Yep.
All right, Barry. Good stuff.
Yep. Bye.
There goes Barry from Ohio. They did run a 2-3 zone, the Denver Nuggets, as Jonathan Ing is pointing that out. Chris in LA is calling in again, I think. Chris, what's up? You're on Clipper Stock.
Yeah, I'm back. So, yeah, I was just thinking, it was a close loss, and we had a lot of mistakes throughout the game, but a series has never been lost in game one. It's only one game, and there's 6 more to go possibly, because we both picked the Clippers to win 6.
Yeah, they just have to win game 2. There's a lot of pressure to win game 2. You go down 0-2, you lose that series 90 whatever % of the time.
Yeah.
Look, they win game 2, all is well. They're coming back. They win game 2, all is well. You're coming back to Intuit Dome with momentum.
Yeah, because I already bought tickets for game 3. I got 3 tickets for game 3, so I'll be there.
You're the man. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, and then also that shirt that I was wearing that said "Fasten your seatbelts." That was from the 2006 Clippers playoffs.
Well,
we beat Denver that year. Of course, it was a different team back then.
They beat Denver in the first round that year. They did.
Yeah, and I might have gone. I think I went to game 2 of that series.
Right on, Chris. All right. Well,
I
want to listen to some more post-game audio here, because it's not just the Clippers I want to hear. And thank you for the phone call. It's the opposition. Here was David Adelman post-game.
Both DNVR, what an introduction to you to the playoffs there as a head coach, by the way. Huge advantage in points off turnovers for you guys. I think you were plus 20 in that category. What did you think of the execution in transition, particularly on the defensive side?
Oh, we just flew around. Those 2 guys caused so many issues. I thought we adjusted too much early instead of just doing what we do hard. And I thought their intensity was better than ours early in the game. And the end of the second quarter is the reason why we won the game. We don't have that run. I think it was 13-2 to get it to 4.
Yep, 13-2 run. Last 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the second quarter. He's saying that's why we won the game, and he's probably right.
And it felt like one of those games you're just kind of slowly crawling uphill. Then it was 3 at the end of the fourth. Seemed like we were going to win the game. Tied. It just felt like it was incremental steps to win a basketball game. So it wasn't pretty on either end, or for either team. But you just got to make enough plays to win. And I told the guys in there, it's. I just got to play the guys I feel like are impacting the game the most. The stat sheet really doesn't mean anything to me. But they did a good job with their adjustments. We're going to have to watch the tape to do a better job of attacking it. But that's what this is, and it was funny. I thought our best adjustment of the night was, let's go back to doing what we thought we were going to do. Let's just do it better. And we did.
Russ had that really rough week a couple weeks ago, and
you've said after the Kings game, you said, I'm not playing him or playing Jalen.
Yeah.
I'm playing whoever's going to win. What did you see from him late in this game for him to be able to be that kind of impact player that you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, Russ is Russ. Defensively, he was absolutely incredible. He was playing free safety out there. I thought a lot of the reasons why the turnovers happened, even if it wasn't him forcing it, just the way he was roaming around and impacting the game, was great for us. And then offensively, a couple of times I thought he attacked. Maybe we could have pulled it out and executed, but that's what Russ does. He's going to play in attack mode. So I don't think he's going to change after 17 years. If he sees somebody in front of him one-on-one, he's going to attack. And then he made an enormous three, in the fourth. CB's three. Aaron hit a big one. And that's what we're talking about right now. We have to be able to make shots when they triple, quadruple Jamal and Nikola. That's just the bottom line. And you can come up with all the schemes you want, change the offense and all this stuff. They're going to bring bodies. So people have to cut and finish, or they got to catch and shoot and make shots for us to do something special.
David Alman's completely right. The others have to hit big shots. They did for them today.
When you look at Jamal's first half and his second half, forget the shot making or whatever, what the field goal percentage was, but there was a noticeable uptick in his aggression.
Yeah.
Was there anything said, or was it just kind of Jamal just kind of being Jamal, and how does that encapsulate how you guys are as a team?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's almost like the worse things got, the better he got. And that seems like that's always who he is. And I also thought Jamal, he's 7 for 20, 3 for 7, but the ones he made were so huge and so big. They got us back to, we're down 7, took us back down 4, made one to tie it finally. And the side pick and roll was really good to us tonight, allowed us to attack in different ways, flash people behind the defense, and Jamal got loose a little bit that way. So, and then obviously Nikola every night, man, it's 29, 12, and 9 in that game, that physical of the game, just incredible.
My biggest concern coming into this series above anything else is when games are tight, who do you trust more? Kawhi and Harden or Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, who have done it more consistently, more recently in the NBA at the biggest stage? They have. James was really good. Kawhi it wasn't that he was just missing everything or something. He just wasn't even taking enough shots. 6 shots in the second half just isn't enough from your best player. Coming out early in the third quarter like that. How many minutes did Kawhi ended up playing? He was at 41 because he played the entire fourth quarter. Harden finished at 43. Did he play the entire second half? No, he wasn't starting the fourth. In a tight game against Denver, they have all the confidence in the world, and they have even more now because they just did it again. They rose to the occasion better than the Clippers. A lot of it wasn't just did they make shots and the Clippers didn't. It was they got more shots up because the Clippers kept turning it over. Clippers were making them and made some clutch shots, but the turnovers.
On the other end of the Russ thing, Malone always said that Michael Porter took pride in closing and being able to close.
Yeah.
Rest of this series going forward, what can he do to kind of get going? What can you guys do to kind of get him going?
Well, I think obviously, everybody has to engage the game. And I think everybody takes pride in finishing games on our team. And if Jalen Pickett has a night, he's going to finish the game. That's just it. That's the bottom line. It's the guys.
He's just going off feel. He does not care about pecking order. He doesn't care about politics. Whoever is playing well is going to finish the game, according to David Adelman.
That are playing the best at that time are going to finish. And I thought the runs that were made, I was going to go back to Mike at the end of the second, and we made a run. And it's like you can't stunt runs when things are happening. And then I felt bad for Mike because he sat so long. There's a couple situations late game. Do you throw him back in? Is that fair? Is that fair to somebody and the ball finds them and they've been sitting for not game time, but real lifetime, 40 minutes? So there's two ways to look at that. You can say, well, I chose not to play Michael, or you can say, should I put Michael in a really unfair situation? Should I do that to him? I don't think so. And so I think the 5 guys that finished did their job, and we won this game defensively. We really did. And with timely shots from guys that aren't named Jamal and Nicole.
Coach, here's a stupid comment. if altitude was that significant, Nuggets would have at least 10 titles by now. It doesn't need to be that significant. It's called margins and just winning on the edges here and there. There's a reason that Denver, even in bad seasons, has a good home record. The altitude is real. Do you use it as an excuse? No, the Clippers should have won this game, of course. But I noticed it. Others noticed it with Kawhi. It seemed to be affecting him. Nobody's going to admit to it, of course. Coach Lou was kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We got to win. You can't let it get in your head. But to act like the science of what's happening doesn't have an effect at all on the ball game, I mean, that's delusional. Of course it does have an effect. How big of an effect? How much can you use it as an excuse? I'm not using it as one. They lost the game. They had all those turnovers. The altitude, yes, Denver's going to always be the best conditioned team. That's how it works. There's way more that goes into it in terms of winning and losing than just being the most conditioned team. That could be a small part of what matters. But I'm not going to, if Kawhi was tired, who does that benefit more? Denver, of course. Yeah. It is an idiotic comment. They should have won 10 titles by now if it was that significant. It's like, it doesn't need to be that significant to be a difference maker. No, in this particular game, I'm not saying it was the difference for the Clippers losing. Do I think over the span of a season, when Denver Nuggets, even when they had bad teams, are a good home team? Is that part of the reason? Yeah, of course. But the Clippers got to figure it out.
Nikola was involved in 2 plays that were pretty strange. I think one where he got hit in the face and then it's on the ground. They started the 5-second clock and he kind of threw it in, ended up getting a technical.
Yeah.
And then the other where the Clippers bench is holding onto the ball.
Yeah.
What did you make of those plays and sort of how he handled them and how the
Now Jonathan's like, well, it didn't affect the Clippers beating the Nuggets in round 1. Well, maybe they were just a significantly better team than that Denver team. I don't think that's a point worth making, Jonathan. It's like there's all these other things that start first when you're talking about a head-to-head matchup and who has the advantages. I'm not saying the altitude is at the very top, but I am saying if things are really close, could it make a difference? Yes. Do I think that's what happened in this game? No. The Clippers blew it.
the refs controlled the game there.
Right. We watched it. He got hit. It wasn't intentional. Derek just caught him. And I think he thought there would be a call after the play, and there was no call. As far as the coaching thing, I mean, my guy's got to step it up. If we're allowed to just grab the ball and stop plays from happening, and it's not a delay of game, what have we been doing all year? The assistants, I was an assistant, so what was I doing all year? So if that is okay to do, and I guess that's okay, then we should start doing it. I've never seen that before, to be honest. But again, if they don't call it, they don't call it, and it didn't have any impact on the game. So it is what it is. I'm sure the league will look at it.
What did you?
Again, the Clippers small ball unit of Kawhi, Ben Simmons, Batum, DJ, and Bogey, that's not that small of a small ball unit. You said earlier the Lakers won't play small, and then you got caught because you realized, oh yeah, they play small all the time, and now you're trying to justify and be like, no, they're a big small. The Clippers lineup that I just gave you was also a pretty big small. I don't know. He's probably just trolling. Why waste my time? More from David Adelman.
Did you know Jeff Van Gundy had that in him, or?
Yeah, he's pretty competitive guy, obviously, and an amazing coach. So, that's what this series is going to be. There's so many winning people in this series, and basketball pedigree, NBA history. You got a championship coach down there, and I said this, and I'm not trying to overdo this. I mean, James and Kawhi are so special. So this series has it all. Like, if I was a fan, I'm watching this series. It's physical. There's playmaking. There's role players making big shots. Schematically, I thought the game was awesome as far as the adjustments that were made on both sides. So excited for Monday.
David, you guys were trailing most of the game, and I know
My guy keeps arguing. We didn't play DJ. We played Norm. I just gave you who started the second and fourth quarters. I gave you the lineup. This is why, like, you can't reason with some people. Like, they will factually be incorrect and be like, no, we didn't play DJ. You can go look who started the second and fourth quarter for the Clippers, what that lineup was. It's the same one he's been using. Ben, Batum, Kawhi, Bogey, DJ. We didn't play DJ. We played Norm. You can't help some people. It is pointless. David Allen.
I know you said that it was that run at the end of the second quarter that allowed you to win it, but the fact that you don't lead again till late, you grind it out in overtime. What does it say about what this team has, what this team is capable to close out a game like that?
Yeah, I'll say it again. It's just stay connected in tough times. I mean, it really is. That's what it is. In the playoffs, the timeouts are so long. There's so much conversation that, I mean, it can kind of go sideways when things aren't going well. You got 3.5 minutes to talk to each other in a really intense moment. And I thought the guys did a good job of pushing each other the right way. And we have to do that throughout this series. I mean, this is going to be extremely tough. We know that. And I thought I saw that the last 3 games, which were playoff games, to get into this thing. And that's the key, man. It's, go out and play and all that stuff, but stay together and cheer for the guy that's out there if you're not out there. Help that guy, talk to him. So that's what it takes. And if that's what it takes to win 4 times, let's do it. Let's stay together.
So, David.
They are rallying around the adversity they've been going through. And now they have more confirmation after winning this game that they're just fine, that they can figure this out with David Adelman. That's what worries me about Denver.
In the back on your right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You just kind of touched on staying there, cheer the guy on, whatever. So when you have players that aren't as engaged because the night's not going their way, in this case it happened to be Mike, and you're focused on what's going on the court, how do you get a guy back in that's maybe hanging out at the end of the bench and not that engaged with what's going on? And in this case, I'm saying, but in general, to keep a guy that isn't having their best night in the huddle and around.
Right. I'll be honest. I'm coaching the game. So guys have to stay engaged themselves. These are grown men trying to win a basketball game on a team. So the guys on the bench can talk to them. Our assistant coaches can talk to them. When I had a chance, I talked to Mike, and I was trying to be communicative about what my thoughts were, how I thought he could get back in the game. And like I said, sometimes runs happen, and you go, I just don't know if we can take somebody out right now with the way the team is playing. And I'm going to say it again, like I said last week. If Mike comes out and he plays and he's engaged defensively, he's knocking down shots, Michael will be out there, just like everybody else in that locker room. I'm going to keep saying it. I mean it. We're going to do anything we have to do to win a basketball game.
I don't know how you can't love that. He's playing whoever is playing the best that night, regardless of status in the league.
How big was Aaron for you on both sides?
Incredible. Some of the offensive rebounds, second possessions, the play where he went to the basket and dunked it. We were having a hard time scoring, a late clock, defensively walling up at the rim, guarding Zubac, guarding Kawhi, switching on to James and double drags. Absolutely incredible. Such a good basketball player, winning basketball player. So happy for Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon had a massive impact on this game. He was probably the best player in some ways for the Denver Nuggets. It's still Jokic, but because of all the attention that goes his way and responsibility, but his impact was insane. Here was Jamal Murray post-game.
You're not wanting to get too high or too low over the course of the game, success or failure, but just how did it feel to kind of get going there later in the later portions of that game, and those few threes you hit felt like they were momentum changers.
I'm glad they were. I just feel like I could play a lot better. Throughout the game, still trying to settle down and make some shots, but it felt good to get it done.
Jamal Murray is an all-time playoff riser. He may not be an all-star or whatever, mostly because he didn't play enough games, he gets hurt, and yeah, his regular season numbers, they don't look like a guy that can be a number 2 on a championship team. Well, he has been before. It's real. He in the playoffs, he has killer instinct. He has the it factor, whatever you want to say, the clutch gene, he has it.
Jamal, how valuable has the years of experience playing alongside Nikola, Aaron, CB been in moments like that where the game is tight that you guys can lean on the years that you had played together?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. It stems from that trust stems deep. Just from playing together, playing in so many big games, and I just think we have a lot of trust in each other. So that was one part of the reason why I feel like we got the job done today. And even then, I think we can be a lot better for next game.
That trust showed. They have been in battles. They have been in wars. They have championship pedigree. Everybody's saying, there was some guy in here who kept saying over and over again, the Clippers are going to sweep. Have you watched the Denver Nuggets? They just fired their head coach and GM. And it's like, that's not how this works. The players out there on the court are going to have the biggest deciding factor on what happens in a game. Like, they can still come together and actually find a way to be closer because of all the adversity they've been dealing with. And now they've won a game.
Jamal, you knew you were going to see
They should have all the confidence in the world.
a whole bunch of extra bodies, a whole bunch of extra attention. They started doubling off of Russ kind of in that fourth quarter. Just how big was that shot by him, and just understanding that the ball is eventually going to find him in a lot of those situations.
Yeah, I don't think it was just a three, though. He makes a lot of winning plays, stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, So I don't just watch the shots that he makes. He was 5 for 17. It doesn't matter to me. He's playing hard. He's playing defense. He's talking. He's in the huddle. He's active. He's anticipating passes. He's doing everything else. And so, a lot of stuff doesn't show in the stat sheet, and you just look at the shots that he makes and misses. But I feel like he impacts the game in plenty of ways, and he did that again tonight.
Jamal talking about Russ.
Was there an uptick in just your aggression in the third quarter and just in the second half in general? What were you seeing in terms of the coverages, and how were you able to kind of counteract them a little bit?
I didn't really do anything. I just tried to play solid throughout the game. I didn't make, I had some good looks that I didn't make, but I didn't do anything special, in my opinion.
Jamal, obviously Mike didn't play a lot late, and DA just talked about you got to coach the game. You can't worry about guys that aren't necessarily engaged. But do you, as one of the leaders on the team, make sure guys that aren't necessarily in the game in crunch time are still staying engaged, or can you? Is that a conversation you have? I'm not just picking up Mike. I'm saying in general that the guy's not as engaged as you'd like.
Sure. If I'm on the court, though, I'm not going to the bench and telling whoever he's got to stay locked in. I feel like that's a question for D or something. I'm just trying to win a basketball game, and whoever's playing the best is trying to give us a chance out there. Somebody's not going to be your night, as you just explained. So I don't look into it too much. I felt like whoever was out there was playing good at the time. So.
Jamal, you guys crushed them in points off turnovers. I think you were plus 20 in that category. Did it feel like it was a better effort in transition defense for you guys, more communication?
Yeah, I think it's also personnel, though. They're really good in the half court. Obviously, we got some young guys that are pretty quick in the fast break. So I think it was more a personnel thing. I think just kind of making those one-on-one situations in the off a turnover, off a rebound, whatever. That's all I got for you.
Jamal felt like early they had a big advantage on the offensive glass and second chance points, but late Russ and AG were creating extra possessions for you guys. Just how valuable was their work on that end?
Try to tell you, super valuable. It doesn't always come down to making shots, I know that's how we critique everybody nowadays, but a lot of guys on this team make a lot of winning plays. So I'm just thankful to have them on the team and guys that play that hard and are that selfless for the guy next to them. So I think that was a big reason, again, why we won tonight. Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. All that stuff with Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets firing everybody and cleaning house and whatever was going on in the locker room, they just came together and won a game and showed that winning spirit and that championship pedigree, regardless of all that outside noise. None of it affected them. So all that talk of, well, look at what Denver's been going through and people saying that heading into this series, I said from the beginning, I think it's only going to help them and light more of a fire. I don't think it's an advantage for the Clippers, the fact that they fired Mike Malone and all this. Because the players know it is on them now. There's nobody else you're going to be looking at. for reasons why this season ended up with them only winning 50 games and going 11-10 their last 21 games. The Nuggets are here. You're taking on a very good team, and talking about all that other stuff, it's not affecting them. It's not, at least in a negative way.
Jamal, there's a lot of open layups and then just open opportunities for them in the first quarter. Just could you sense the defense kind of improving as the game went on, as the effort continued to get better? And just what were some ways that you thought that you guys improved on that?
I just thought as the game got more competitive, both teams just, it was becomes more of a fun matchup. One team, both teams are fouling each other, not gonna call everything, and just a fun game. So just glad we came up on the dub. We did what we had to do, and now we got to go more of the game too. That same kind of mentality. I don't think we played our best today, and as a unit, I think we can be a lot better for game two. That we kind of saw the. I got a feel for everything that's going to go on in the game and the energy and all that. So, to game two.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what worries me right here. They know they can play much better. They didn't play that well, and they won.
I just thought as the game got more competitive, both teams just, it was becomes more of a fun matchup. One team, both teams are fouling each other, not gonna call everything, and just a fun game. So just glad we came up on the dub. We did what we had to do, and now we got to go more of the game too. That same kind of mentality. I don't think we played our best today, and
I don't think we played our best today.
As a unit, I think we can be a lot better for game two. That we kind of saw the. I got a feel for everything that's going to go on in the game and the energy and all that. So, to game two.
Jamal, there were multiple times that you, CV, Nicola were diving for loose balls. It doesn't show up in the box score, but how valuable is it when all five guys are willing to put their body on the line?
Yeah, like I said, it's part of winning. You get guys that just play hard, you can win a lot of games, even if, and that's been happening. That's just the basketball gods. That has happened my whole life. You got guys that play hard, or you play hard, and the ball might find you, or you might go get the ball or whatever and create a position, hit a big three like we did. So like I said, a lot of the box score doesn't really matter to me. And then playoffs, it's all about who wins the possession, who gets the rebound, who gives a chance their team to have an opportunity to score again. Who's defending hardest, who's talking the most on defense. Everything that's not on this thing is what contributes to winning. So
he's talking about intangibles, and they have a lot of intangibles because they've been here. They've won before. It's scary. You get in close games against Denver. They just have so much experience.
We got to look for game two and just kind of bring that physicality, bring that intent, and bring that pace that we normally do, that we had in the regular season, and we'll win game two.
Take the last one here. Another thing that's not on the box score, David Adelman talked about the connectivity and accountability. Feels like it's in a good place right now. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I just feel like, we're just talking through mistakes more, or planning for whatever to happen, just among us more. And we had that before, but it was more side conversations or whatever to try to figure out what we're doing. But I feel like right now, everybody forces us to be talking more and figuring it out on the court. So there's a good connectivity right now. I just feel like we didn't play our best today, and we got to be ready for game two because they're going to come out aggressive, come out swinging, and come out like they got nothing to lose. So I feel like it's really important for us to defend home court.
Again, he emphasizes we didn't play our best. Here's what worries me. The Clippers got the jump on them. They're up by 12 in the first quarter. They're up by 15 in the second quarter. They were throwing some stuff at Denver that they weren't prepared for. That's what some of the built-up lead was about. And they lost that game. They made the first move, and they lost that game. Now Denver's going to be more knowledgeable on what the Clippers are trying to do out there. It just feels like a major missed opportunity. I could be wrong. Clippers come out. Kawhi plays much better in game two. It could totally happen. They can easily win game two. But this was a missed opportunity. It was. Here was Jokic post game.
Poštovani Nedi Lenković, neko čestite na pobedi, 29 tvojih poena, tebe skoliko je 12 asistencija, fenomenalna utakmica, ali onako malo što rekli Amerikanci nerve-wracking do poslednjeg momenta je bilo onako neizvesno. Kako je tebi se izgledalo?
Yes. All right. I think they're speaking Serbian, but he speaks multiple languages, so I'm not sure. Not going to be able to translate this. If anybody's got it, help us out.
You. I'm sorry. Jeste, bila stvarno neizvesna prava play-off utakmica gde u jednom momentu nisu ni oni mogli da damo koš, s puno kotaka, mnogo fizikalna, ali eto, našli smo način da u produžecima, mislim da smo mogli da završimo i u regularnom delu, ali eto, napravili smo greške, promašio sam bacanje, tako da nismo završili.
Da tu može nešto ako vi znate da će oni tebe da čuvaju, s druge strane da je vam potrebna jača odbrana, jači napad.
Pa da, sigurno to se dešava, sigurno da to se dešava, to su te neke promene u tokom igre i tokom utakmice, sledeće utakmice sigurno će biti totalno drugačije, tako da spremimo se za bilo što oni mogu da kako da kažem, da urade, ali na kraju utakmice je totalno drugačije i intenzitet i king of the court, you know, so
kind of creating a basketball advantage for you guys.
Yes, I mean,
I didn't have my Google AI translator on. I really wish I knew what was being said there, but we'll get to the English part of it here. It's crazy. It's pretty awesome how international the NBA has become, and your best player is an international player.
He can miss shots, but just the aggression and, kind of creating a basketball advantage for you guys.
Yes. I mean, I always think if you're in the middle of the pin, you're the king of the court, you know. So it's probably the best thing to be on the floor. The basket is so close, and you can facilitate pass the ball to the other guy, and it's going to be the practice shot, because whenever coach passing you from below the rim.
There were multiple plays tonight where you, CB, AG, Jamal are diving for loose balls. It doesn't show up in the box score, but how valuable are those moments?
Yes, I mean, I think we had a lot of those. I think CB had a big one. I think Russ had a big one. He missed a three, and then he stole the ball. And then AG had a lot of offensive rebounds. He had 5 offensive rebounds in a big time, in a crucial time. So I think we had those. Kind of small plays that, like you said, it doesn't show in a box score.
What aspects of Aaron Gordon's game fly under the radar?
I mean, I think I won't say aspect, but the sacrifice what he's doing. Like, he's guarding the best player in their team. Probably he's switching it, and then he's fighting with it. Sometimes he's guarding a 5, so he basically guard 1 through 5, and sacrifice that he's putting in, and he's not making a big scene of it. He's just doing his job.
Joker, it happened again. What was your reaction when a member of the other organization tries to wrestle the ball away from you when you're trying to inbound it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's part of basketball nowadays, because I think definitely it's not supposed to happen, because I think the NBA wants to make a quick speed game, inbound the ball quicker, because that was after.
Okay, here's the Jeff Van Gundy situation.
Fighting with it. Sometimes he's guarding a 5, so he basically guard 1 through 5.
After this.
And it's usually
Reaction when a member of the other organization tries to wrestle the ball away from you when you're trying to inbound it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's part of basketball nowadays, because I think definitely it's not supposed to happen, because I think the NBA wants to make a quick speed game, inbound the ball quicker, because that was emphasize when they came to before the season. They say sometimes when I to take my shoes and this and then, I can steal a couple of seconds, and they said I cannot do that anymore, but it seems like they can do it.
He was strong.
Yeah, he's like, well, I think it's just 2 against 1. So
2 against 1 there.
Joker, what did you make of Russell?
Jason Powell, Jeff Van Gundy. He's mentioning how, the NBA wants to play faster. He was trying to inbounds the ball. They're trying to stop it so they can review the play. Yeah. We'll see what happens, how the NBA views this.
and I take my shoes and this and then like and steal a couple of seconds, and they said I cannot do that anymore, but seems like they can do it.
He was strong.
Yeah, he's like, well, I think it's just 2 against 1. So
Joker, what did you make of Russell Westbrook tonight? Just offensive rebounding, defensively. You obviously trusted him with that pass over to the 3 at the end of the game.
I mean, for us, open man wins, and I think as a general we missed a lot of full easy layups. But he made a big 3. He was really good in transition for us. He was aggressive. He had a couple offensive rebounds too. I think the big one. So he had a big steal in the end. So that's who he is.
Kind of piggybacking off of that one, just how big is it for his confidence just going into the rest of the series?
His confidence. I think he has the biggest confidence probably in this matchup, whatever it is.
One more on Russ. He said he knew the Clippers' final play when they inbounded it and he tipped it off Harden. How much do you just appreciate another guy who can kind of diagnose an opponent's play like that?
Yeah, I mean, he was there and he knows. He knows them. He played with Jinx for a lot of years. So, he did it. What I think he is doing it.
So Russell Westbrook, this comes from Joey Lynn, said post-game that he knew the Clippers' last play on the inbounds.
Underneath or the odd turnover with Harden, he felt like you could cut underneath or the odds know that play. Yeah, from being there.
You played for the Clippers last year. You know that play. Does this series or a game like this and game one like this have anything extra just because you know that team?
I mean, not until we win the series. We can talk about that when we take care of business.
Okay, so he says they win the series, he's going to have something to say about that. That's presumptuous. If they win the series, it sounds like Russ is going to sound off about the Clippers.
Or a game like this and game one like this have anything extra just because you know that team?
I mean, not until we win the series. We can talk about that when we take care of business. And that's a tough team over there. They've been playing very, very well the past month or so. So we did our job. We didn't do nothing special. One game on home court. Now we got to get ready to go on Monday.
Okay. A little bit different there. We did our job, nothing special, home game, supposed to win.
Defense, you were kind of playing like, did you feel that way? Like, could you? It didn't start great early. Yeah. My job is to, they have the dynamic roller with Zoo and great cutters and the guys that catch lobs, and my job is to be able to be the low man and find ways to use my language to fuck shit up.
Okay. There's many ways to take that.
Use my language to fuck shit up.
My job is to F it up.
My job is to be able to be the low man and find ways to use my language to fuck shit up.
Hope he does in the Clippers' favor next time out. He's talking specifically about the low man defense there. Hey, Russ has got bragging rights after this game, but as he mentioned, it's just one game. I want to hear more from Nikola Jokic post-game.
For a long time. Period.
We'll go Luka on your side.
Clippersi su jako dobro otvorili utakmicu. Jako su dobro otvorili utakmicu i u prvih 18 minuta su je baš kontrolisali, imali puno problema u reketu, ali posle toga svim utisak da ste vi potpuno preuzeli kontrolu nad utakmicom. Šta se tu desilo?
Jeste, ovo stvarno su počeli su mnogo, smo se prebudili, because I think teams are preparing for him, it's really sebi kako treba da igra. Oni su zadali prvi udarac, a mi smo, kao da smo nešto čekali, ali kad smo se prebudili, pokazali smo sami sebi kako treba da igramo.
We'll go Luka next.
Nikola, obviously, Mike didn't finish the game. Only took 4 shots. What can you guys do to get him going? Do you want to see him be a little bit more aggressive, the rest of the series?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's. I think teams are preparing for him. It's really hard when someone is preparing for you, but we definitely can find him a couple more looks or this and that. But I think
if that happened, like you need to sacrifice. Like I think that the goal is to win a game. It's not about the minutes and about the shots. I think, and you need to support your team. Probably next game, like I said, next game can be a completely different game, and the completely different players can play.
Joey, go ahead.
Okay, so Michael Porter Jr. supporting his guys, not being selfish. It's about winning above everything else.
Kawhi's 7 turnovers were pretty uncharacteristic for him. He's usually the guy who takes care of the basketball. What do you think you guys were able to do well defensively against him to make that the case?
I mean, the first primary defenders with AG, CB, whoever was on him, and I think the shrink was there behind it, and we were there showing the crowd, showing the hands, and it just happened. Lucky for us.
Talking about Kawhi and those 7 turnovers, it just happened. Lucky for us. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, another question about Kawhi. This is your guys' first time seeing this Clippers team with him. How does he change what they do, and what was your initial evaluation of them?
I mean, he's an amazing player. Of course, he's a really deadly scorer, and he can. It's really hard to stop him one-on-one, and even if you think that you can stop him, he can make tough shots. So definitely giving him another, you cannot help of him. So he's an amazing player.
Nikola, I know it's hard in game, and Jamal's talking about playing, DA's talking about coaching. When you have a guy that's not engaged, so tonight Mike wasn't necessarily that engaged. Do you go out of your way in between games just to remind, whether it's him or anyone else, to stay engaged? Do you have those conversations?
I mean, if you're not going to be engaged right now, I think you're not supposed to play this sport. So it's like I said, it's just another game. It can just happen. It can happen. So tomorrow is not tomorrow. In 2 days, it's going to be a completely different game.
You go with the
I didn't hear that
defense,
again.
you guys.
If you're not going to be engaged right now, I think you're not supposed to play this sport. So it's like I said, it's just another game. It can just happen. It can happen. So tomorrow is not tomorrow. In 2 days, it's going to be a completely different game.
You go with the defense, you guys were kind of able to settle in throughout the game after struggling with their pick and roll in particular in the first quarter. What do you think you guys can do better just against that in terms of setting the tone with your defense throughout the series?
I mean, I think they scored 110 points. They had 98 in overall and the regulation. So I think we did a good job. So I think sometimes it seems like they scored too easy. So I think the effort, not the effort, like the physicality, like don't let them make easy passes, don't let them make quick, easy looks, reads. So I think we just need to have a little more aggression and make them do a little bit something else.
We'll finish with Alexander in the front.
Čim si otvorku si uzeo kao tabletu da si pravi neki plan igre, šta si govori igračima i sad kako se ne opustiti posle ove pobjede sada, udošati taj ritam i tempo?
Pa mislim da su utakmice možda na neki način i probudila, da kao što sam rekao, nekako su oni nas napali i nekako mislim to ne sme da se dozvoli zato što su talentovane ekipa da imaju 14 igrača koji mogu da budu bilo koje ekipi, bilo koje rotaciji. Ne smemo da dopustiti da oni nas napadnu prvi, moramo da mi zadamo prvi udarac.
Yeah, I got nothing there. There was Nikola Jokic post game. So people were talking about Norm Powell. Yanni's here saying, I said less if he's not playing. You're saying play him less if he's playing poorly. Okay. I don't disagree with that. I just know if Norm doesn't have a significant impact on this series, the Clippers aren't beating Denver. Like, it would be one thing if Bogey played well in this game, then yeah, you have another option. Both those guys playing poorly leads to poor results. They need Bogey to have a role in this series too, or they're not winning. Going away from Norm really isn't an option. Like, you might win a game. You're not going to win 4. Norm is too important to what this team does. They can play him less. Sure. I can't emphasize enough how your guys who got you here have to play well now that you are here. Part of the reason we think that the Clippers are so good is because of Norman Powell. If Norman Powell isn't playing well, then they're not the same team. But just going away from him doesn't work either. Period. Sure, you can get away with it for a game, maybe, if somebody else is hot. But to win 4, that's not going to work. Like, I don't know, Yanni Tears doesn't get this. DJ and Batum aren't Norm. They're different players completely. You have to factor in, if we go away from him in game 1, what's that going to do for his confidence? I don't think Norm necessarily lost him the game. But those guys aren't replacements for what Norm does. They do their own thing. They have their own lane. Having them cook with the second unit. I don't know the second unit that has Kawhi playing with them already. You're going to have Norm and Bogey on the court can be problematic. Bogey's in the second unit. I don't think you understand the domino effect of doing that. Of just saying, oh, just play him with the second unit. It's like, first of all, the only coach that I know that runs an entire line change second unit is Doc Rivers. Nobody else is doing that. They're staggering guys. Like, I'm okay. Sure, if it's not Norm's night, but eventually Norm has to be a big part of this series. He's got to shake himself out of the funk. And it's one game so far. They played literally 2 minutes total with both Kawhi and Harden out. They lost those minutes by 3 points. Like, I don't think that was the end of the world. The starters got outscored by 5 in 26 minutes. That's the stuff I'm worried about more. I'm not saying it's nothing, but because they can get by without MPJ. They're not the same. They're not the same. The Clippers need Norm more than the Nuggets need MPJ. They need Norm. Now, if Bogey was cooking, they could get away with it. But I don't think you understand. They need Norm. Norm's got to play well. Norm's supposed to be an X factor. I thought Simmons was fine. I saw him play some physical defense. I love how I explained the first question, and now we just move on. Don't act like that wasn't explained. Like, I get it. Everybody's frustrated they lost. I'm frustrated too. They should have won this game. I don't know how many times I can explain it. Like, Norm is more important to the Clippers than MPJ is to the Denver Nuggets. That's what it is. Norm has a big track record, a body of work with this team this season. And to just completely go away from him when you need his scoring desperately, you're not going to win the series. Even if he's limited, if Norm's all of a sudden playing 20 minutes a game, I don't know if you're going to win the series. Playing DJ and Batum more offensively, that's going to hurt you a lot. You got to understand, they have a plus 15 net rating with their big four out there. That includes Norm, Harden, Kawhi, Zoo. That's a big reason why we think this Clippers team is very good. Norm is a big part of that. If he's not playing well, they're not nearly as good. But they also don't have other places to turn and just say, okay, we'll go with this guy. Nobody else can replicate what Norm can bring with his offense and his efficiency and his quick strike scoring. Maybe Bogey, if he has it. He didn't have it tonight. You are a significantly worse team if Norm isn't playing well. We'll end on that note. We'll talk more tomorrow. Yeah, see, free TV doesn't get good coaches make tough calls. If Norm isn't bringing scoring, he isn't impactful. The problem is you are lowering your ceiling going away from Norm. Unlocking his scoring by playing with the second unit next to Bogey, well, there's two guys that they're going to be picking on more. You don't understand. What do you mean second unit? He takes a backseat with Kawhi and Harden. Kawhi has been playing in the second unit. He's starting second quarters and fourth quarters with the second unit. So this idea that, oh, Norm will be featured more. Kawhi is going to be on the court. Don't we want Kawhi to take more shots? We've been complaining about that the entire time. It's just totally illogical. You're not thinking through the butterfly effect here of the second. They're not running out an entirely different five-man second unit out there. Kawhi is playing next to Batum, Bogey, Simmons, and DJ. Saying we need defense. Nuggets had 98 points at the end of regulation. We are lowering our ceiling by going with Norm. All those great, like, I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain it anymore. If Norm doesn't play well in this series and have a big impact, the Clippers are going to lose. They don't have another guy that can replicate what Norm does for them. They don't have another place to turn, another path, another way to win and say we don't, Norm's just a luxury. We can find another way to beat the Denver Nuggets without him. No, they're not going to be able to. They can win a game. They're not going to win 4 if Norm doesn't have a big impact. Look, I get it for a game. I'm just saying over the length of a series, you're going to need Norm to win the series. We're not just talking about winning a game. Like, I get it. I think the exact same way that if Norm isn't scoring, how is he helping you? The other part of that, though, is can you really win if Norm isn't being Norm? So you kind of have to ride or die with him to some degree. Toby's right. Like I said, they all have black and white view. No. It's about playing him with certain lineups, free TV. This isn't hard. Playing him next to Bogey may not work. He has worked in the starting lineup. Hey, if Norm is struggling so much that they bring him off the bench, cool. I'm just saying, you can't just eliminate Norm from the series. If you do, they're going to lose. He's going to have an impact. So it's a little scary that we get to this point where we're talking about making drastic changes right away. I've been saying all year long that Nico Batum could be in the starting lineup in a series against the Denver Nuggets. I'm not against that. But then some of your other rotations are going to change. I don't know if Coach Lue wants to do that yet. It's one game. They lost because they had 20 turnovers. Norm didn't have a good game. But if you're already going away from Norm this early, that's a problem. If you play him less, okay. If somebody else has it going in that game, I'm all for it. If Bogey had it going and Norm didn't, I think Coach Lue would have gone to Bogey more. He didn't. So the guy that you would use to replicate a lot of the Norm stuff doesn't have it. So where do you turn? You play DJ and Batum more? I think it could work for a game. I don't know if you could win a series doing it. Norm's going to have to help you. And if you're not playing him or killing his confidence by not playing him, is he going to be able to help you? I don't know. I don't put anything past Coach Lue when it comes to adjustments. The truth is, the guys that got you here need to play the way they did to get you to this point. They need to replicate a lot of what they were already doing. Because that's what makes the Clippers dangerous. By having Norm at his best. That's what makes them so dangerous. You go away from that, it will lower your ceiling and might take away, I think it will take away your chance of winning the series ultimately. You might be able to win a game, but win the battle but lose the war. What lineups? Coach Lue is not playing. He didn't play around with any lineups yet. I don't disagree that you could take down his minutes some if he's not cooking. I don't disagree with that. If that's all you guys are saying, cool. But at some point he needs to cook. That's what I'm saying. And the only way he can do that is if he's confident and out there on the court. So he is one of those guys you're riding and dying with a little bit. And I get it. We shall see. Here we go. Joe Benson. Eric Spoelstra's play style would raise our offensive ceiling. Honestly, anybody that thinks, oh, it's too much ISO, it's too much this, and it's like, I don't think people understand who's on the Clippers roster and how much ISO ball gets played in the playoffs. It kind of is a telling on yourself type of thing. And anybody that's always screaming about, there's too much ISO ball. No shit. Harden led the league in points in isolation this year. He was second last year. Kawhi was first. You play to the strengths of the talent on your team. Alex said, won't overreact to game one. Last year we blew out Dallas and then got basically outplayed the rest of the way. I don't know if that's a good note to go out on, but that's something. It's something. Toby points out, yes, personnel matters. Matt Stringer said Jokic is overrated. Oh, man. Jokic is incredible. We'll see what adjustments come. We'll be with you tomorrow. I'll have a guest. Somebody will join me. Clippers just have to win game 2. And number 2 has to play better in game 2. I expect Kawhi to play better. He doesn't have 2 bad games in a row very often. There was still a lot of good stuff from Kawhi. Just 7 turnovers. Also, you look at them individually. Maybe I'll pull the tape on that. Maybe I'll pull the tape of Kawhi's turnovers. We talk about that tomorrow because it's more detailed than just 7 turnovers. 2 of them are miscues with the new player in Ben Simmons. There's context and nuance. It's not that simple. It's just, he turned it over 7 times. He sucks. He had a bad game. Like, turnovers don't necessarily mean, an interception could mean somebody ran the wrong route. All right. I'm going to go watch the second half of this Lakers game. Talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm Adam Mosland. This has been 197 straight days of Clippers talk, I think. We can still hear from Kawhi Leonard on the way out. Talk to you tomorrow.
Off the air.